What is this fish? What is that?
What the hell is that?
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from Bigfoot throwing stones at hikers to birds that are somehow capable of turning into mushrooms as camouflage. Ready? Let's jump in. Our first clip of the day sends us as far back as 1996. In the clip, we see an individual moving through the forest. The clip has this old film look that's supposed to authenticate the fact that it's an old video. We can tell you that whoever is filming this is looking for something, but what? Well, finding an answer wouldn't take too long because after a few seconds, we see it. There's a strange-looking creature lying in the grass. It doesn't look like any creature or animal known to us. I mean, it does look like a giant ant without all the extra limbs, but that's definitely not normal. Without me saying anything, you can already tell that this has definitely gotta be an alien. According to the individual who sent this in, the military shot down an identified flying object in January 1996. The UFO then crashed in a small town in Southeast Asia. Days later, a group of friends discover one and the military steps in. They succeed in catching the aliens, but one of the military gets attacked by an alien and ends up dying. And for some reason, the aliens also die when captured. The military then carefully packages their corpses and transports it to an undisclosed location. I know what you're thinking. If this is true, why didn't anyone make noise about it? Why are we hearing it after close to 3 decades? Also, who took the clip and how do we have it now? So many questions, yet no answers. Someone mentioned there's a documentary of this on Amazon and Apple TV+, but I couldn't find it. If any of you know anything about this or have seen the documentary, please let us know in the comments section. If this is true, well, it changes everything.
What is this fish? What is that?
That is not a fish.
What do you think that is? Believe it or not, this clip was my first time seeing anything like this. Without wanting to go to Julius, I checked the comments section of the original post and saw this. I'm not sure why, for a second, I actually believed that this could indeed be an armadillo ratfish. I mean, the name sort of fits the description, but I should have known better. Luckily for me, Julius showed up with the right name and description as usual. This is actually the Atlantic midshipman toadfish, aka Porrichythes plectrodon. It's a fascinating marine species known for its bioluminescent properties and distinctive vocalizations. Found in the western Atlantic Ocean, particularly along the coast of the southeastern United States, this toadfish inhabits sandy and muddy bottoms in shallow coastal waters. It's characterized by its broad, flattened head and a body covered with small, embedded scales. The species is named for the rows of bioluminescent organs along its body, resembling the buttons on a naval midshipman's uniform. These fish are nocturnal and use their light-emitting organs to attract prey and communicate with potential mates. Now, you have to understand that it's very unusual to see Atlantic midshipman toadfish during the day or above water. These species are primarily nocturnal and tend to hide in burrows or under rocks during daylight hours to avoid predators. Seeing one like this is unusual and could be due to circumstances such as being disturbed from their hiding places, environmental stress, or even disorientation. The one we see in the clip appears to be upside down, which might point to stress and disorientation. But then again, that's an amateur observation from me. What say you?
What is this fish? What is that?
That is not a fish.
If you love fast food, then this next one is for you.
what the noise is that's coming out of my daughter's Panda Express chicken.
This mom decided to give her daughter a treat from Panda Express chicken because, oh, why not? She expected a fun time with her daughter, accompanied by a delicious meal. What she didn't expect was the chicken they were supposed to be eating to be making sounds on its own. Listen. Do you hear that? It sounds like a ticking or tapping sound. I'm not exactly sure where to put that sound, but do you get the idea? Or better still, do you hear it? What do you think that is? While you write your comment, allow me to share some of the stuff the conspiracy theorists said. So we basically have most of the comments pointing to graphene nanotech or lab-grown GMO that's basically not dying. I wanted to say it was probably the heat, but the lady did mention that the chicken was cold. So now I turn to you guys. What do you think is going on here?
What the noise is that's coming out of my daughter's Panda Express chicken.
You know the glitches we keep mentioning on this channel that Julius and his disciples have refused to accept could really exist? Well, our next clip features a lady who has allegedly had multiple throughout her life. Let's take a look.
My grandma has very prominent blue eyes, like crystal clear. It's a very prominent feature about my grandma that she has very blue, piercing crystal blue eyes. So this one day, she picks me up, we go to Wendy's, we're sitting in the glass area. If you know Wendy's back then you know what I'm talking about. We're sitting there eating our fries and I look up at my grandma and my grandma has brown eyes. They're brown. And so naturally I was like, Grandma, your eyes are brown. And she was like, yeah, Lauren, I have brown eyes. I was like, Grandma, no you don't. You have very blue eyes. What do you mean you have blue eyes? And she was like, no, Lauren, I have brown eyes.
She first talks about her experience in 4th and 5th grade when her grandma used to pick her up. She then talks about how she and her grandma used to go to Wendy's to have a great time. According to her, on one of their days out, her grandma, who was blue eyes, suddenly had brown eyes. She draws her grandma's attention to it, and her grandma tells her that no, she has always had brown and not blue eyes. She goes home, and her mom also tells her the same. At that point, she's very sure something's off, but she forgets it and moves on. 3 days later, her grandma suddenly has blue eyes again. She goes to her grandma and tells her that her eyes are blue, again to which her grandma responds, well, I've always had blue eyes. She states that despite her numerous attempts to remind her grandma that her eyes were once brown, nothing comes of them. She also insists she's not crazy and was not dreaming. Naturally, individuals in the comments section were divided. Some stood with her, while some thought she had a hyperactive imagination. One person did mention something profound, though. According to him, she might have shifted timelines. The funny thing is, there are some in the comments section who believe they have done the same. So what do you guys think? Are we glitching into different timelines instead of different realities? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section.
After school. I didn't make that shit up. Like, that was reality. I didn't miss a day. Like, this happened. Has anybody else ever experienced anything like that?
Moving on to an innovation in our own timeline, we turn our attention to Serbia, where liquid trees have become a wonder. Yes, you heard that right, liquid trees. In a remarkable step towards combating urban air pollution, Dr. Ivan Spasajek from Serbia has introduced an innovative solution known as the liquid tree. This groundbreaking project, launched in Belgrade, one of Serbia's most polluted cities, aims to tackle the pressing issues of air quality. The liquid tree is essentially a bioreactor that uses water and microalgae to mimic the natural process of photosynthesis. These microalgae absorb carbon dioxide and heavy metals from the air, effectively reducing pollution and producing oxygen. This liquid tree innovation offers more than just environmental benefits. Designed with urban functionality in mind, these installations feature benches, USB chargers, and nightlights, making them not only eco-friendly but also practical additions to public spaces. Just imagine walking through a bustling city and finding a spot where you can sit, charge your devices, and breathe in cleaner air. These features make the liquid trees a multifunctional asset, enhancing the quality of urban life while actively working to improve air quality. While this sounds futuristic and amazing, someone in the comments section asked a profound question. What's wrong with normal trees? I did some research and found that while traditional trees are invaluable for the environmental, offering shade, cooling temperatures, absorbing carbon dioxide, and releasing oxygen, there are scenarios where planting them is challenging. Urban areas, for example, often grapple with space limitations, poor soil quality, and other factors that hinder tree growth. Liquid trees are designed not to replace, but to complement normal trees. They serve as an additional tool to help tackle air pollution and climate change, especially in environments where traditional tree planting is impractical. Cool, huh? Yeah, I wish I could tell you I know what that is, but I don't. I've seen weird things, but this is definitely top 5. It looks like the living face of a cow or a bull with limbs that are capable of moving it. I know my description doesn't make sense, but this creature doesn't either. I wanted to say AI, but typically AI clips have portions of the clips that glitch or are inconsistent for no reason. This particular one doesn't have that meaning. It's real, or at least I suspect it is, but what do you guys think? Have you ever seen an angel? Well, the one who sent in the next clip believe he captured one. Take a look.
Where'd it go? Yeah.
Where is it?
What the fuck is that? Huh.
This clip was recorded in San Antonio, Texas during a family hangout. It was meant to be a day like every other day until they allegedly spotted a large humanoid creature with wings in the sky. Naturally, their first thought was that it was an angel. Looking at it, I get why they would think that, but there were some in the comments who thought it was a thunderbird. For those unfamiliar with the lore surrounding them, thunderbirds are legendary creatures found in the mythology of various indigenous cultures across North America. These powerful beings are often depicted as enormous birds with the ability to create thunder, lightning, and storms through the beating of their wings and the blinking of their eyes. There were also some who suspected gargoyles, but, well, you guys have seen the clip. What do you think? Back in 2023, a NASA satellite captured something extraordinary, a dark, long mass attaching itself to the sun. Now, we all know that the sun is a massive ball of fire of energy, so this sight is quite intriguing. Some people believe this dark mass is some sort of alien technology, perhaps a device that's sucking energy from the sun. The idea of aliens harvesting solar energy sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, doesn't it? However, the Julius kind had a different take. One commented on this. A solar tornado is a phenomenon where solar material gets twisted into a tornado-like shape by the sun's magnetic fields. It's a natural event, but still incredibly fascinating to watch. The forces at play on the sun are immense, creating these dramatic and powerful structures. So what do you think? Is this dark mass an alien energy siphoning device or just a natural solar phenomenon? We all know that the most haunted places are those associated with death and tragedy. It seems like ghosts and entities just thrive in such areas. In this footage, a man is driving by a cemetery when he notices something chilling. There's a woman in a white robe walking through the graveyard. Her head is bent down until long black hair covers her face as she moves silently among the tombstones. Given the lore and stories surrounding graveyards and ghosts, this sight raises many questions. Could this be an actual ghost, a restless spirit wandering the cemetery, or is it simply a woman walking through the graveyard for reasons unknown? The eerie atmosphere of the cemetery, combined with the sight of this mysterious figure, creates an unsettling scene. The idea of a ghostly apparition in such a place is not far-fetched, considering the countless tales of hauntings and paranormal activity linked to graveyards. But what do you think she is, human or ghost? Julius thinks she was edited and placed in there, but still, I would love to hear your thoughts. Still on hauntings, dolls are one of the things that can easily be possessed. In this footage, a man visits a doll shop filled with vintage dolls. These aren't brand new, they have an eerie, old-fashioned look to them. He brought along a heat vision camera to scan the whole place. When the camera was pointed at him and his friend, they both appeared with an orange color indicating heat and essentially life. As they scanned the dolls, none showed any signs of heat, except for one. This particular doll appeared to have the same orange heat signature as the living people in the room. Dolls are lifeless, so how is this possible? Possession. The idea of a possessed doll is not something new. Many stories and legends speak of dolls harboring spirits or entities. They're believed to be an easy vessel for spirits to inhabit due to their human-like appearance. The heat signature could indicate some form of energy or presence within the doll, which aligns with tales of possession. Is it possible that a spirit or entity has taken residence in this doll, giving it an inexplicable warmth, or is there a more mundane explanation we're overlooking? There have been numerous accounts from hikers and campers who claim that rocks were thrown at them by what they believe to be Bigfoot or Sasquatch. Today we have footage that seems to capture a Bigfoot throwing rocks. In this video, a man on one side of a wooded road spots a Bigfoot on the other side moving among the trees. As he begins filming, the Bigfoot walks for a while before stopping and crouching down, apparently picking something up from the ground. It then stands up and throws a rock directly at the man filming. Let's examine the footage in slow motion. You can clearly see the Bigfoot's movements, walking through the trees, crouching to pick up a rock, and then throwing it with surprising accuracy. It almost seems as if the creature was aware of being watched and decided to send a warning. What do you think? Does this footage provide evidence of Bigfoot's existence, or was everything just made up? In this growing technological era, one of the most important things we need is a reliable power supplying electricity. But what if I told you there are natural ways to generate power without all the harmful chemicals?
Ça va, ok, très bien. Tosha, Tia, très bien. Ça, Tosha, Tia, ok. C'est parti ma Juliette.
I'm not sure where this was taken, but judging by the people in it, it seems to be from Africa. In the clip, you can see a group of men gathered around. One of them is holding a shiny rock. They hand the rock over to another man who's holding an LED bulb, the kind with two metal prongs that you can connect to a battery to make it light up. He connects both sides of the bulb to this shiny rock, and incredibly it lights up. Is this natural electricity? The demonstration is truly fascinating. If this shiny rock can indeed generate power, it could be a game changer, offering a clean, sustainable source of energy. Imagine the possibilities if we could harness natural resources like this for our electricity needs, reducing our reliance on harmful chemicals and fossil fuels.
Ça va, ok, très bien. Tosha, Tia, très bien. Ça, Tosha, Tia.
This man set up a camera outside an abandoned house in the middle of the forest. He had just positioned it in front of the house as he was about to enter when he noticed something on top of the building. There was a pale creature crouched on all fours with a pair of glowing eyes. The creature looked eerily like the Rake, a notorious cryptid known for its unsettling appearance and predatory behavior. Its skin was almost translucent, giving it a ghostly, otherworldly look in the dim light. The creature's glowing eyes seemed to pierce through the darkness, adding to the menacing aura it exuded. The creature had a gaunt, almost skeletal frame, its head turned slowly, tracking the man's movements with an unnerving precision. The eyes never blinked, maintaining an unbroken stare that felt almost sentient. In a moment of panic, the man packed up and left. Do you think that was a Rake?
Não, tá gelado.
Tá gelado?
Tá gelado.
Ué? Credo?
Não, tá esquentando, cara. Tá esquentando. Pega pra você ver aí. Caramba, tá quente mesmo.
Tá mesmo, cara?
Gente do céu.
É pegando ela aqui.
Caraca, meu. Que coisa, cara.
Ela esquenta, cara.
Vamos pôr, ó, põe aqui na... Ó. Ó, não sei se dá pra você ver, ó.
Olha lá as bolinhas lá, ó.
Ó, tá borbulhando.
Ó.
Não é possível, cara. Ó, ficou bem vermelha, cara. Olha isso. Olha, ficou vermelha.
Two men were out in the woods in Brazil when they discovered something extraordinary. Using the help of a metal detector, they unearthed a tiny chest about the size of a hand. Intrigued, they opened it and found a red oval-shaped pearl inside. Curious about their find, the men picked up the pearl, but after holding it for a while, it began to get so hard that they had to drop it onto the muddy ground. When they placed the pearl back into the mini chest, something even stranger happened. It started to change color. What is this mysterious object that can heat up on its own and change color? This discovery is both fascinating and puzzling. It's not every day you find such an unusual artifact hidden in the woods. The fact that it heats up and changes color raises so many questions. Is it something that has to do with the natural properties of the object, or are we looking at a piece of lost technology?
Que coisa, cara. Ela esquenta, cara. Vamos pôr, ó, põe aqui na... Ó. Ó, não sei se dá pra você ver, ó.
Olha lá as bolinhas lá, ó.
Ó, tá borbulhando.
Ó.
Não é possível, cara. Ó, ficou bem vermelha, cara. Olha isso. Olha, ficou vermelha.
This footage was taken back in 2021 in Russia by some guys who were taking a walk after sundown. In the sky was this comet-looking light that seemed to be approaching the ground. As the comet-like object got closer, they heard a loud noise and then its shape changed dramatically. It now looked like a jellyfish, with the trail behind it becoming coiled and the head part expanding into what appeared to be thick white smoke of some sort. No one knows what this could have been, whether it was some sort of light display, an explosion, or even something alien-related remains a mystery. Now, on second thought, if that was a light display, people would have known about it because they would have been told. So if it's neither of these, could it have been a rocket launch where the changing shape and bright trails were caused by the stages of the rocket burning off? Seems plausible, but they would have known if there was a rocket launch nearby. Maybe it was just a meteor breaking up upon entering Earth's atmosphere, causing the loud noise and the spectacular light show. Julius is skeptical about this as well. I'm out of ideas. What do you think this is? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments. Someone shared this footage of a four-legged creature walking through the woods. It looks like a horse, but it's made of what appears to be roots or something similarly unusual. The movements are fluid and lifelike, yet the creature's composition is bizarre and unsettling. This could very well be an AI creation, given the incredible advancements in technology and visual effects. However, with all the strange phenomena and sightings reported lately, it's difficult to rule anything out as fake or AI generated. The internet has been buzzing with various theories. Some people believe it's a mythical forest spirit captured on camera, while others think it might be a hoax meant to deceive those who like to believe in the paranormal. What do you think? We always have to be very vigilant and conscious of our surroundings, no matter how comfortable the atmosphere is. Take a look at this footage that was taken in Australia. A family spent the weekend at a beach house. One night, they were out by the sea taking pictures and goofing around. The mother was recording videos of her two kids. You can see the little boy running around all happy, which reminds me of the good old days. Sorry, I digressed. Now, in this clip here, the little girl is making silly faces at the camera. Everything seems normal until the family reviews the footage and notices something chilling. There behind the little girl is a pale creature crouched on all fours. They hadn't even noticed or sensed anything was off that day. The only evidence of this creature being there was captured in the footage. The creature's appearance is eerie and unsettling, with its pale, almost translucent skin and elongated limbs. The family was shocked and terrified when they discovered this in their video. This sighting has sparked a lot of speculation. Some suggest it might be a cryptid like the infamous rake, while others think it could be a hoax. However, given the family's genuine reaction and the fact that they didn't notice the creature at the time, it's hard to dismiss this as mere fabrication. Could this be evidence of a mysterious creature lurking near the beach house, or is this family trying to mislead us for their 5 minutes of fame? Share your thoughts.
I'm scared.
In 2012, a woman went into the woods to capture the beautiful sunset. She was upset because, who wouldn't love to escape the busy world into nature, right? But after some time out there, she began to feel uneasy and uncomfortable. In the clip, you can hear her say, "I am scared." Not long after she said that out loud, a howl echoes through the forest. From the view of the camera, you see the snout of a wolf-like creature with its arms raised to the sky. The woman screams and runs out of there. I'm no wolf expert, but that's definitely not an ordinary wolf. I'm tempted to believe it's a werewolf since it appears to be humanoid. It appears to have arms it raises when it howls. Once this was uploaded to our platform, some were in awe while others found it laughable. They believe the creature has just been edited in, and they found her confession of being scared too convenient. It came just before the creature howled. To them, that's a sign of it being planned. The creature doesn't look very convincing to many in the community. They believe it's just a digital creation. Others also added that if the creature was real, she wouldn't have survived the encounter to upload the video. What do you guys think?
I'm scared.
Our next footage was taken in Berlin. There was this strange light in the sky with an odd shape and glow, almost as if it was emanating from a craft hidden behind the clouds or something invisible. The light had an eerie, otherworldly quality to it. Some believe this could be the case of those cloaked UFOs, hidden from our view but occasionally revealing themselves through such phenomenon. Others speculate that there might be a UFO behind the clouds, using some advanced technology to remain concealed. But what's your take on this mysterious light in the Berlin sky? Is it a cloaked UFO, an advanced military craft, or something else entirely? This footage, captured in the sky at an unknown location, shows a strange object moving rapidly and rotating as it speeds through the air. Its erratic movements and high speed make it difficult to identify as any convenient aircraft or drone. The way it twists and turns seems to defy typical flight patterns. Is this UFO related, or could it be something more mundane? Could it be a cutting-edge piece of technology, an experimental aircraft, or perhaps something out of this world? Share your thoughts. There are a lot of creatures that stem from ancient mythology and even stories. One such creature is the griffin. The griffin is a four-legged creature with the body of a lion and the head of a bird. The individual who uploaded this footage believes this is a griffin, but this creature's body doesn't exactly look like a lion, but it does have four legs and a bird-like head. It looks somewhat real, but I'm tempted to lean more on the possibility of it being an AI creation. Even so, I can't help but wonder if there could be some truth to their existence. The griffin has always been a part of mythology for centuries, originating in ancient civilizations such as Mesopotamia, Greece, and Egypt. It was often depicted as a powerful and majestic creature, symbolizing strength and protection. That leaves me wondering, did someone actually see one, or was it imagined and passed down? Share your thoughts. A man went out hiking. He didn't say where, but it's said that the area is very famous for a lot of Bigfoot sightings. As he was hiking, he noticed something walking among the trees ahead of him. It was a huge bipedal creature moving between the trees. He quickly took out his phone and started recording. The creature seemed unaware of his presence, or maybe it just didn't care. Its movements were deliberate and powerful, pushing through the underbrush with ease. The man tried to get a closer look, moving as quietly as he could. Through the trees, he could see the creature's dark, shaggy fur and its massive frame. It stood at least 7 feet tall, with broad shoulders and long, muscular arms. The video was grainy and the creature was partially obscured by the trees, but there was no denying that this was a Bigfoot. What say you? This whitish creature was found in the sea and is called a Barbie sea pig. They're a type of sea cucumber. Barbie sea pigs, known scientifically as scotoplanes, are fascinating creatures that inhabit the deep ocean. These soft-bodied animals are typically found on the ocean floor, particularly in the abyssal plains, at depths ranging from 1,200 to 5,000 meters, or 4,000 to 16,400 feet. Their unusual name comes from their resemblance to pigs, with their plump, elongated bodies and tube-like feet that give them a slight pig-like appearance. They're detritivores, meaning they feed on the organic material that settles on the ocean floor, such as decaying plant and animal matter. By doing this, they help recycle nutrients and maintain the health of the deep-sea environment. Barbie sea pigs have adapted to their harsh, high-pressure, low-light habitat with some interesting features. Their bodies are mostly translucent, and they use their tube feet not just for movement, but also to sense their environment. Additionally, they can inflate and deflate their bodies, which helps them navigate the soft sediment on the ocean floor. This woman was relaxing at home on her sofa when something strange happened. The standing fan out of nowhere began to bounce on the ground in an erratic and haunting way. Startled, the woman jumped off the sofa and quickly dragged her child away from the scene. At first, you might think it was just a faulty fan, but then, looking at the woman's alarmed reaction, it's clear that something more unsettling might be at play. Many people believe that this could have been poltergeist activity. Poltergeists are known for their ability to manipulate objects, creating disturbances that can be quite frightening. The sudden, violent movements of the fan could be interpreted as a classic sign of such supernatural activity. If this is indeed a poltergeist, it would explain the fan's erratic behavior without any apparent cause. Adding to the eerie atmosphere, the woman's immediate and instinctive reaction to protect her child suggests she felt an overwhelming sense of danger. Her behavior indicates that she didn't believe this was merely a mechanical issue, but something far more sinister. So what do you think is happening here? Faulty fan or haunted fan?
Gente, olha os pontos, olha o tanto de ponto que tá indo juntos.
Primeiro, olha, é uma forma geométrica, mano. Eu não sei o que é isso, mano. Mano, o tá muito alto pra estar desse jeito.
Gente, vocês estão vendo isso? Olha isso, eu tô tentando deixar o mais nítido possível, brilhando e aqui em cima da gente.
Take a look at these lights. We see multiple blue orbs in the sky blinking in sync. They look so out of place, definitely not like the usual stars we see at night. Just observe how they move. They appear to form a pattern, blinking and shifting with the rhythm that's both mesmerizing and unsettling. Their synchronized blinking suggests a level of coordination that's not typical of natural phenomena or conventional aircraft. Could this be a display of advanced technology, perhaps a secret government experiment, or even something extraterrestrial? Share your thoughts.
Gente, olha os pontos, olha o tanto de ponto que tá indo juntos.
Primeiro, olha, é uma forma geométrica, mano.
Take a look at this security footage that was taken at a parking lot filled with tricycles. As you can see, a man was walking by when all of a sudden, one of the tricycles just moved backwards and crashed into a man who was sitting in a chair. The man sitting was unaware of the tricycle's sudden movement, and the one walking by turned in shock to look at the whole situation. There was no one in the tricycle, and they are manually operated. So what happened here? The footage shows the tricycle moving with an unexpected jolt as if propelled by an invisible force. The randomness and suddenness of the movement leaves us wondering if this could be more than just a simple mechanical failure. The tricycle's movement is eerily smooth and deliberate, almost as if someone or something unseen is controlling it.
What the hell is that? I've gotten closer to it. And I'm even more confused than I was like 20 feet back. What is that?
A woman was walking through a forest when she saw this on the ground. It was this weird thing. It looks round and has strange parts on it. The woman said that the area is known for having a lot of owls, but this thing looks nothing like an owl. I know I usually have answers to these strange creatures, but Jeremy, my animal plug, doesn't. He says he's never seen anything like this. The lady who recorded this even went closer to take a look and could still not identify what this thing could be. Are we looking at a creature we've never seen before? Well, share your thoughts.
And I'm even more confused than I was like 20 feet back. What is that?
The person who shared this footage is convinced she captured a glimpse of a fairy. While out in the woods, immersed in nature, she noticed something unusual fluttering nearby. Despite struggling with her camera, she managed to capture the fleeting creature on film. The footage is quite blurry, making it difficult to discern the exact features of the insect. However, you can see a small, delicate creature darting through the air before landing gracefully on the grass. Its wings are particularly striking, resembling butterflies but with an enigmatic quality that sets them apart. The scene has an ethereal quality, leaving room for the imagination to wander. While it might simply be an extraordinary insect with an otherworldly appearance, the blurry footage invites speculation. Could this be a real fairy, or is it just an insect? Late one night, while driving home, a man saw something on the side of the road that made his heart skip a beat. There, illuminated by his headlights, was a woman dressed in white. Her head was bowed, causing her long dark hair to fall like a curtain over her face. Her hands were clasped in front of her, adding to the eeriness of the scene. As he drove by, the woman did not move. She didn't even glance at the car passing by. It was as if she was frozen in time. The sight sent chills down his spine. Who or what was she? Was she some sort of entity, a ghostly apparition, or just a random woman standing by the roadside? But then why would anyone stand at the side of the road in the middle of the night, especially in such an unsettling manner? He kept glancing in his rearview mirror, half expecting her to suddenly appear closer or to start following his car, but she remained still, a solitary figure in the darkness. Who do you think she is? We all thought that electric cars were a significant upgrade from traditional manual vehicles, a leap forward in our quest for cleaner transportation. However, recent findings suggest that this upgrade might come with its own set of problems. Research has uncovered that lithium-ion batteries, which power these electric vehicles, can release harmful chemicals into the environment. These rechargeable lithium-ion batteries contain PFAS chemicals, often referred to as forever chemicals. These substances are notorious for their persistence. They don't break down over time and accumulate in the environment. This accumulation poses serious health risks, adding a new layer of concern to the environmental impact of electric vehicles. PFAS chemicals have been linked to various health issues, including increased risks of cardiovascular problems. As these chemicals leach into the soil and water from deteriorating or improperly disposed of batteries, they can contribute to broader public health concerns. The persistence of PFAS means that their effects could be long-lasting and widespread, making it a significant challenge to manage and mitigate their impact. Researchers were out exploring a cave in Mexico when they stumbled upon something extraordinary. They discovered the remains of a dog-like creature, but this wasn't your typical dog. Its jaws were lined with sharp teeth, and it had 4 legs, looking quite fierce even in its skeletal form. Now here's where things get really interesting. Some people believe these remains could belong to the legendary chupacabra, a cryptid from Mexican folklore. The chupacabra is often described as a blood-sucking creature that preys on livestock, and sightings have been reported for years, though evidence has always been elusive. Initial examinations showed that while this creature had some canine features, there were significant differences. The teeth were sharper and more pointed, ideal for tearing flesh, and the bones showed signs of a creature that had a powerful build. So what do you think? Could this really be the remains of the legendary chupacabra, or is there another explanation for this strange discovery? Some things in life just cannot be explained. This woman was seen by a body of water pressing down on something. You'd never guess what it was unless you saw it for yourself. She was performing chest compressions on a fish. Yeah, you heard that right. CPR on a fish. I think she found the fish stranded on the sand, not far from the water's edge. Instead of just tossing the fish back into the sea, this woman decided to try and revive it using CPR. It's quite the sight to see someone giving life-saving compressions to a fish, but her intentions were undoubtedly pure. Who's going to tell her that fish don't exactly benefit from CPR? It's one of those moments where you can't help but admire her dedication and hope, even if the method is unconventional. Take a look at this incredible phenomenon. Mushrooms that transform into birds. It's truly astonishing to watch. One moment you're looking at a cluster of ordinary mushrooms, and in the blink of an eye, they undergo a breathtaking transformation into birds. Just imagine the marvel of witnessing such a change in real time. The transformation is so fluid and convincing that it almost feels like magic. The mushrooms begin to shift and morph, their textures and colors blending seamlessly into the form of birds. It's as if nature itself is performing a spell-binding dance of creation. Now, while this might look like something straight out of a fantasy film, well, of course, it's actually CGI. The level of detail and realism in the animation is truly impressive. There is more to this world than just the things we have discovered, which is why people should learn to stay in their lane and be safe. This footage was taken by someone who was going through the woods for whatever reason and caught sight of a pair of red eyes glowing in the dark. Instead of quickly getting to safety, this person took out their camera to film the creature. If you look closely, you can see it. There in the blackness of the night, a dark figure that looks to be crawling with red glowing eyes. The shadowy figure looks like a human on all fours, but what do you think that could have been? A shadow creature, a demon, or a skinwalker? If the footage is real and it's one of these creatures, then it's safe to say that the uploader of the footage is very lucky to have made it out alive. But what do you think? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. As if ghosts and sea monsters are not enough, take a look at this. Experts found this white, slimy-looking organism floating on a swamp in Nebraska. The organism appears to be moving on its own. Scientists have not been able to come up with an explanation of how it's able to do that or what exactly the slime is and if it's even harmful at all. Now, if you have watched the movie Life, you should remember how this cute little blurb became a soul-sucking monster. This creepy slime just gives me that vibe. Next, we have dashcam footage from a lady who states she encountered something sinister in the woods. But don't take our word for it. Watch the video. As you observe the footage, you'll notice that visually nothing significant occurs. but pay close attention to the eerie sounds emanating from the background. Drawing from the research conducted by my team and me, if the sound does not correspond to that of an animal, it's highly probable that it possesses a paranormal nature. These sounds could potentially be attributed to either a banshee or a skinwalker, both formidable creatures known for luring humans with their piercing cries. Just as we believed we had unraveled the mystery, a team member astutely pointed out a discrepancy. The lady claimed the footage was captured by a dashcam, yet the camera appears to be moving around, which defies all expectations. If you're familiar with dashcams, you'll know that they are typically fixed in place. Just like that, we started to doubt the credibility of the footage. But what do you think? Could this be an honest mistake, or are we dealing with fake footage from someone trying to get their 5 minutes of fame? Let us know in the comments section. In this age of incessant internet sharing, we encounter a man braving the night armed with nothing but a flashlight and a camera, driven to capture a remarkable moment. What unfolds before him is a swift creature lurking behind what appears to be a white fence. As with any viral sensation, speculations abound. Some skeptics suggest it could be one of the man's mischievous friends dressed up as a creature aiming to play a prank. However, the comments section is a realm of unbridled imagination, where theories take flight. Some propose that this enigmatic being could be the notorious Dogman or even a throwback to a creature from a classic Scooby-Doo movie. But let's pause and reflect. Should we believe everything we encounter online? Could this be yet another instance of cryptids, creatures existing on the fringes of our knowledge? Or perhaps, dear reader, you have ventured beyond the realms of us mere mortals, ready to embark on a daring adventure to unveil the true nature of this mysterious creature. Yet, let us not dismiss the possibility that this might be an intricately crafted ruse, an elaborate hoax designed to deceive and captivate. But what do you personally think? Next is another image of an ape-like creature that closely resembles the last image. Similar to the previous image, this creature bears some resemblance to a gorilla, but it also exhibits notable differences. The creature appears to be standing upright, just slightly hunched on the shoulders. My paranormal fanatics know this is definitely a Bigfoot, but what if it's some sort of prank? I mean, two images of similar-looking creatures which are slightly different from each other are too much of a coincidence. If it's indeed a prank, it's commendable how realistic the costume appears, but if it's not a prank, then lightning has indeed struck twice at the same place. But what do you think? Next, we travel all the way to Indonesia to bring you this odd-looking footage. This footage was taken by a group of guys in Indonesia who'd set out into the woods for a fun night, but ended up discovering something rather odd and disturbing. If you pay attention to the footage on your screen, you'll see a strange creature in the mud. Its fur in the mud and its movements make it look very creepy. To put it mildly, I'd say it looks hideous. It looks like something that should be left alone. Yet these guys get closer and try to interact with it. As the curious men get closer, the creature also floats closer to them. That doesn't last, though, as the creature dives back into the water. This is one of those times when I've no explanation for what we see. A part of me felt like it was a sloth, but as they get closer, I started to doubt that assertion. I must admit, I doubt if the thing is even real at all, but what do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Next, we have another wonder to deliberate on. This strange creature was found by some individuals at the seashore. It's round and puffy, resembling some kind of rodent. But here's where it gets weirder. It's got no head or tail, just a tiny leg and an opening on the side. What in the world could we be looking at? Is it a bizarre marine species, an alien beachcomber, or something else entirely? The lack of a head adds an extra layer of intrigue to the mystery. What's your take on this seaside creature? With a mystery that's unlike anything we have ever showcased on this channel. Take a look. You see it, don't you? That's a plastic bag walking across the street. Even saying the sentence out loud makes it sound weird and doesn't make sense, but that's exactly what we're looking at here. The logical explanation would have been that the wind has something to do with it. That is, the bag's being carried by the wind. Looking at it critically, though, we see what looks like legs moving one step after the other. Could this be a coincidence, a function of CGI, or perhaps a paranormal being possessing the plastic bag? We aren't very sure, but everyone in my team is leaning towards possession. What about you? Next, we have a series of captures from one Gonzalez, who identifies as a paranormal expert. He's captured many images he believes to be a Bigfoot, and one of them is what you see on your screen at the moment. In the image, you see a tall bipedal creature with a lot of fur walking upright with a human-like gait. A closer look at the image, according to Gonzalez, reveals Bigfoot carrying a pig on his shoulder. Yeah, you heard right, a real-life pig. The Bigfoot he captured seems to have a taste for luxury and the best things in this life. Perhaps bacon is its favorite. Most of his Bigfoot pictures were captured near Avocado Lake, including what you're seeing currently. For some odd reason, though, most of his Bigfoot images are conveniently blurred, which prevents you from seeing the whole thing. It makes it hard to judge the authenticity of what you're seeing, but what do you think? Is this real, or is someone trying to get his 5 minutes of fame? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Confused by what you're seeing? Well, so is everyone at Lion Falls who has encountered this strange and elusive creature. For decades at the Lions Falls, there have been stories of a sea monster. Everyone who saw it gave the same description, but only the uploaders of this image were able to capture the image. The creature was known to slither out and into the water almost undetected. Those who have seen it stated that it looked like a giant eel or a snake with 12-inch spikes on its back, which is exactly what you were seeing in the image above. Numerous search parties and hunting expeditions have been conducted over the years to capture or observe this elusive sea creature, but all have been unsuccessful. I'm not entirely sure what kind of animal it could be, but there's an undeniable sense of danger surrounding it. Some think it's nothing to worry about, whereas other people might simply be mistaking a log for a creature in the water. But what do you think it is? Just a log in the river, or something more sinister? Have you watched the movies where demons or possessed individuals appear to have black eyes? If you have, then perhaps you can relate to this next capture better. Take a look. If you look closely at the lady in front, you'll notice her eyes are dark. This was taken on a subway, and the man apparently noticed her dark eyes and tried to get some pictures or videos of her. While that might have seemed like a good idea, you can tell that the lady, or whatever she is, can clearly tell she's been filmed. If she's truly demonic like we're suspecting, then clearly this was a bad idea. Do you think she's a demon, or that she's possessed? Could there be a more logical explanation? Share your thoughts. It's no secret that other entities roam the earth with us, some disguised to blend in with the human population. But when we retire to beds at night, they seem to shed their camouflage. In this security camera footage, something bizarre happened. A person was seen walking across the street when all of a sudden he started to disappear from the legs upward until he was fully gone. What entity do you think that could be? Is that a ghost, spirit, or perhaps a demon? Next, we have this dog-furred primate that was spotted on a trail cam. Before you dismiss it as an ape, take a critical look at the image. Do you see it? Although it bears a resemblance to a gorilla, its body proportions do not align with those of a typical gorilla or any other primate that we're familiar with. The creature has notably longer lower limbs and crouched shoulders. Its movement differs from that of a typical gorilla, as it walks upright on 2 feet, akin to a human. If you are a Bigfoot enthusiast like many others on this channel, then you are definitely thinking it's a relative of Bigfoot or possibly an active juvenile Bigfoot. What do you think? Next up is footage that gives me chills. This is one piece of footage that has been on the internet for a very long time, yet it's one piece of footage that not many seem to understand or have an answer to. In the footage, we see a tall, dark figure looking at the camera from behind some trees. It's almost as though it knows it's been discovered by the trail cam and is contemplating what to do. At first glance, the creature looks like an ape, but its mannerisms soon prove that it's not. Is it some form of cryptid? Well, it could be, perhaps a Bigfoot. Whatever it is, it's hard to tell from this short footage alone. But what do you think? A Bigfoot or something else? Do you even think it's real at all? Tell us in the comments section. The next trail cam footage we have is of something quite bizarre. Believe me when I say we're still trying to wrap our heads around it. Enough talk, allow me to show you instead. Take a look at this family of deer moving deep into the darkness. At first glance, the footage looks like nothing out of the ordinary, but wait a few seconds for the last deer. Right there, behind them. Do you see it? There's a deer following the herd, only it's translucent and vanishes into thin air as soon as it gets into frame. This inexplicable occurrence holds the power to challenge even the staunchest skeptics' beliefs regarding the existence of ghosts. The sudden disappearance of the deer raises questions about the supernatural and the possibility of unseen entities inhabiting our world. Such occurrences have often been associated with paranormal phenomena. If you've ever doubted the existence of ghosts, this footage is guaranteed to make you rethink your stance. But I have one question. Could the deer be a departed family member lingering on the cusp of the afterlife, or is it the embodiment of a forest spirit? So many mysteries to ponder. Either way, share your thoughts with us. Next, we have a creature whose mere presence is disputed by science and all things logical. Don't believe us? Watch the footage. Did you see it? The footage was captured by a man who believes the creature you are seeing on your screens to be a chupacabra. With its hairless skin, the eyes that glow in the dark, we can understand his sentiments. In the footage, the animal is busy searching for food as it scavenges through the trash. Once it notices it's under the watchful gaze of all the humans around it, it becomes cautious. It doesn't look like any known animal species, which left the townspeople scared and questioning the competence of local authorities. Looking at the pictures and all the horrible stories surrounding chupacabras, we don't blame them. As much as we'd love for this to be a real-life chupacabra, it turns out it's not. According to experts, it's nothing more than a very sick raccoon which has lost its hair. Could this be an attempt to cover the whole thing up, or is that what hairless raccoons look like? Tell us what you think in the comments section. Next, we take a short trip to Indonesia. Snakes are naturally creepy and unsettling. Take a look at this snake, if we can even call it that. This creature looks like a snake with its forked tongue and slithery movements. That's just about how far its snake-like features go. However, what sets this creature apart is its unexpected attribute, fur. This is a new species altogether, or could it be algae growing on the snake? Tell us your thoughts. Still on Bigfoot, check out this image that was captured by a trail cam on private property. Despite the image's lack of clarity, it appears to depict a crouched, hairy creature picking up fruit. The creature is suspected to be a Bigfoot, and that's likely the case. I mean, how many creatures in this world have similar features? The answer is none. Upon observing apples being consumed from his orchard, the property owner installed a camera in an attempt to catch the intruder. But instead of a person or even wild animals, this is the image his trail cam captured. Quite the find, huh? As much as we want to get excited as the next guy, you still have to wonder, is this image genuine and authentic, or could the property owner be manipulating the emotions of genuine Bigfoot enthusiasts? Alternatively, could it possibly be a prankster in a costume intentionally misleading the owner? What are your thoughts? This still was captured by a trail cam. In it, we see a huge ape-like creature moving in the direction of the trail cam. Cloaked in dark fur from head to toe, the creature emanates an air of mystery. The sheer size and presence of this mysterious being sends chills down our spine, evoking both awe and trepidation. As if its formidable size wasn't intimidating enough, the creature seems to be exhibiting signs of agitation. It exudes an aura of either provoked hostility or innate aggression. Either way, it's certainly not a creature you would love to meet during your time out in the woods. However, it's also plausible that this could be a person donning an incredibly realistic Bigfoot costume. If that's the case, it would undoubtedly rank amongst the most convincing in existence. While we don't believe it's a fabrication, even if it were, it wouldn't undermine the multitude of evidence suggesting the existence of Bigfoot and the existence of countless other extraordinary creatures in the unexplored depths of the woods. Have you ever seen a bear eat? If you answered no, then perhaps you would find this capture interesting. In the image, we see a black bear standing on its hind legs, its ears turned backwards in an intriguing pose. What captures our curiosity is the red fabric tied to a tree branch swaying tantalizingly in the breeze. It becomes evident that someone with skill and knot-tying expertise secured the food to the tree. There's no way an ordinary knot could withstand the full weight of a bear. Whoever was responsible for this must have possessed scouting knowledge, as their knot-tying technique remains intact, resisting the bear's attempts to undo it. As the bear indulges in its newfound delight, crumbs of food cascade to the ground, offering a glimpse into its voracious appetite. There are no signs of the bear returning to all fours anytime soon, as it remains engrossed in its feast. As much as we would love to see a video, I guess this image will have to do for now. And remember, as cute as this footage looks, never ever approach a bear in the wild, or it might just be the last thing you do. Next, we visit a swamp in North Queensland. Why? Take a look at this footage. What do you see? Does that look like anything you know or have seen in your life? If you answered no, then you're part of 99.9% of users that were wondering what creature that was when it was uploaded online. So far, no one can tell what it is, only that the creature just emerged out of the swamp for a few minutes and then submerged back into it. Not even the staff of the tourist company, who's visited the said location many times and took the footage, has an idea what the creature is. Some stated it could be a whale, but come on, what would a whale be doing in a swamp? Even scientists who saw the footage were scratching their heads. What in the world could that be? A species of fish or an unknown creature that's just living in the swamps? Could it be a paranormal or otherworldly creature? At this point, it's hard to tell. There is a small minority of people who think that there's a possibility it's simply a hoax by the tour company whose staff posted it to get people to visit their locations. But what do you think? Now take a good look at the tree stump right there. Keep focusing on the area till after the coyote passes by. Did you see it? The glitching, ghostly figure. It looks like a human torso appearing, disappearing, and then reappearing multiple times. There's no one around except the coyote roaming, which leaves us with one main question. What could be going on here? Well, could it be that an otherworldly creature is attempting to cross into our world, but faces barriers or interference that prevent a complete manifestation, or could it simply be ghostly creatures communicating with themselves? I mean, the on-off pattern of the ghostly creature reminds me of Morse code. Could that be what's going on here? If that's the case, who is the creature communicating with? So many questions, yet no answers to them. What do you think, though? Back in June 2023, this strange thing, if I may call it that, was spotted in the skies in Japan. It resembled a peculiar-shaped mass of dark material suspended in the sky. Though static, it appeared like a blot on the clouds, despite not being situated within them. Instead, it floated independently in the sky. Some said it was some sort of alien structure, while others thought it looked like nothing they had ever seen. But still, this was an unusual appearance in the sky that has left a lot wondering if it is even safe to be around. So what's your take on this mysterious airborne appearance? Are we witnessing a cosmic art installation or maybe an otherworldly visitor? Now here's a wild ride through the tales of Bigfoot encounters, some chilling, others painting the creature as harmless. In this particular footage, an adventurous ATV rider hits the jackpot, getting up close and personal with Bigfoot at the far end of the river, and the creature seemed unbothered by his presence as it just went about its merry way. Perhaps it's used to seeing people, or it didn't think anyone would believe the man. Anyway, speaking of believing him, do you believe this is real? For our next capture, we travel back in time to Argentina in the year 2017. The image you see on your screen was reportedly taken by some teens in the woods at night. They had an eerie feeling that they were being stalked, only to realize that the creature you were seeing currently was actually stalking them. Fortunately, they were not far from civilization and managed to quickly make their way out of the woods. They met some police officers who chased the creature and lost sight of it. But what exactly is that creature? Take a closer look at the creature's slender body, elongated limbs, and those strangely shaped eyes. It's as if something extraterrestrial has entered our realm. You know what I mean, right? An alien straight out of the sci-fi movies. Do aliens really exist? Well, the footage we're witnessing seems to strongly suggest so. Maybe our planet is on the brink of an alien invasion, or perhaps they've been silently coexisting with us for centuries and we're just beginning to wake up to their presence. It would have been fascinating to learn more from the alien or whatever creature it was, but unfortunately it quickly vanished before anyone could ask a single question. The uploader of the footage set up his trail cam in the woods, hoping to capture something interesting, perhaps the Bigfoot in the area he'd heard so much about. After weeks of capturing nothing, he was almost giving up until he realized his trail cam had captured the footage you see on your screen. In the footage, you can see a bipedal creature comfortably walking through the woods. His movements are more reminiscent of a human than they are of an ape, yet he's covered in fur. You don't need to be a paranormal expert to know that we're dealing with a Bigfoot, as there are no other creatures that have the described features together. Judging by how confident the creature is moving, you can state that he didn't expect to be seen by anyone. He was very comfortable in the environment he was moving through. Perhaps it's much closer to his home. Thank God for trail cams, because we won't have captured this footage otherwise. Fortunately, the owner of the trail cam set it at a vantage point, allowing us to see the creature in its full glory. But do tell us, what do you think? Is the footage too legit, or do you think it's being tampered with? Glitch, glitch, glitch. If you've been on this channel, then you know how many times we have discussed glitches in the Matrix. But no matter how much footage we post, the list never ends. In this footage, we're introduced to a broken glass. Nothing extraordinary about that, right? But after breaking the glass, they try to put it back together like bits of a puzzle. You'd expect it all to fit together, wouldn't you? But no, it doesn't. When they invert it, which is the wrong way to put it back, then it fits. I mean, this shouldn't be a big deal, but it is. It's like meeting a man who shouldn't be able to stand tall, but he's not able to, yet can stand on his head. I know this illustration is extreme, but how else do you explain this? This is indeed a strange science mystery. For our final footage, we thought we'd sign off with something a tad creepy, especially for you Harry Potter fans. What do you think that is? Some may think ghost, while others some type of demon. But the one who uploaded the footage believes it was a Dementor and believes that there are Dementors stalking him for no reason. Now, anyone who has watched Harry Potter is familiar with the Dementors. We know how these creatures can be, and we also know it's the last creature you want to meet out of the Harry Potter universe. Unless, of course, you can do the Patronus charm. So what do you think? Is this footage real? If it is that a Dementor or simply another case of mistaken identity? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Bigfoot hate cameras, and this camera footage confirms this already known fact. In the footage, we see the creature notice it was being filmed and run off into the bushes to avoid being taped. Although the footage may lack clarity, it's evident that the creature fleeing from the camera is anything but human, despite its uncanny resemblance in movement and behavior. It had brownish fur from head to toe, but stood on its 2 feet. It's not a bear because this thing was running on 2 feet, so another Bigfoot, but you have to wonder why their sightings have become common of late. Are they planning something? Should we be concerned? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Next up, we take a trip to South Carolina. We have a capture of what has been described to be a lizard man. It's hard to discern what the creature is, but according to the one who uploaded it, it was definitely a lizard man. Just in case you don't know who or what the lizard man is, decades ago in Oregon, South Carolina, there was a hunt for a beast that was known to be vandalizing cars and attacking people. Everyone who came across the creature gave the same description. It was described as a scaly, lizard-like creature that walked on 2 legs. The thought of such a creature existing was a scary one, and it terrorized the residents of the area. It was eventually named the Lizard Man, yet after many decades of hunting, it's not been seen, hunted, or caught. That was at least the case until this footage popped up. This you are watching is suspected to be the only evidence of the Lizard Man. What do you think, though? Is that the Lizard Man, or are we looking at nothing but a fake? Next, we revisit a trail cam footage from 2019. The trail cam footage captures a mysterious glowing object in the background. Upon viewing the footage, experts unanimously agree that there must be a living entity in the background, an entity seemingly aware of being observed and exercising caution. While some speculate it could be a bear or firefly, members of the paranormal community hold a different conviction. They postulate the existence of a creature concealed amidst the trees in the background, with the glowing lights potentially being its eyes reflecting the light. Analyzing the video, however, you can tell those trees are not short, and that if there is indeed a creature hiding there, it's a ginormous one, probably 7 to 8 feet tall with dark fur to match. Some suggest a gorilla, but there's no way there's a gorilla that tall. Only one creature remains to fit the bill: a Bigfoot. While conclusive evidence of Bigfoot's existence remains elusive, the possibility of encountering these unknown creatures or cryptids is not impossible. What do you think, though? Are we dealing with the Bigfoot, or are we seeing things that are not there? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Next, we have this trail cam capture of a creature that looks like a Komodo dragon. If you know anything about Komodo dragons, it's that they are found in dry open grassland, savanna, and tropical forest at low elevations. With long, sharp claws for grasping prey and digging burrows, they possess an extraordinary sense of smell that can detect carrion from several kilometers away. While we know Komodo dragons are big lizards, the creature you are seeing on your screen is possibly much larger than even the largest of the Komodo dragons ever recorded, and that's not the wildest thing about the image. The wildest thing is in the small details. If you take a closer look at the footage, you'll realize that the Komodo dragon is climbing a tree. Now, you might be thinking, oh, so what's the big deal? Well, let me break it down for you. Young Komodo monitors often seek refuge in trees, spending their lives elevated to minimize the risk of becoming a tasty snack for adult Komodo dragons who view them as potential prey. If we follow this line of reasoning, it leads us to speculate that the Komodo dragon in question, which I initially referred to as a colossal creature, is actually a juvenile. If this is indeed a young dragon, just imagine the kind of dragons that inhabit the woods when the trail cam footage was captured. Could it be that the environment fosters the growth of creatures larger than their usual counterparts, or are we overthinking the whole situation? Perhaps dealing with a cleverly crafted fake? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. A woman was walking her dog in the park when she came across these uniformed men. Naturally curious, she starts asking one of them questions. This guy pulls out a radio and calls for backup. Out of nowhere, a man shows up, his name scrawled on a piece of duct tape slapped on his reflective vest.
What rank are you? What's your name and badge number?
Suspicious much?
You can follow him if you want. You can, but is there anything I can help you with? Do you have any questions? Or?
Yeah, what are they training? What are they hoping to learn today?
Oh, I don't know. Capabilities and any deficiencies.
She begins to ask him questions, but his answers are the least bit convincing, and she's not buying them. To top it off, these guys are packing heat, actual weapons, and casually strolling around a public park. That's definitely something to be concerned about. One question, though, is the woman right for probing? Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send an alien or a Bigfoot after you now, would you? Take a look at this footage. A woman comes home from grocery shopping and is about to wash her strawberries, but something rather unusual happens. As soon as she touches the strawberry, the tap starts flowing. Her tap uses sensors, so when you tap or touch the faucet, the water flows. However, in this case, when she taps the strawberry, which is in the sink, the water flows. So the question on everyone's mind, how in the world is this happening?
Sensor thing. And here's some strawberries. Nothing happens when I touch the box, but when I touch a strawberry.
Is it some quirky glitch in the matrix, or could there be a scientific explanation lurking beneath the surface? One possibility might be that the strawberries somehow triggered the sensor. It could be due to the conductivity of the fruit, or perhaps some kind of residual moisture on the woman's hands. Alternatively, it might be a coincidence or an unforeseen interaction between the strawberry and the sensor technology. Please don't come at me for this explanation. I came up with it without Julius, and I must say I'm proud of myself. There's also the possibility that our fruits have been messed with, but that makes me sound like a conspiracy theorist. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this intriguing phenomenon? Please do share them in the comments section. Next, we travel to Oklahoma in 2011, where a group of boys are out in the woods having a good time. While out there in the woods, they shoot a video showing their viewers how to prepare for some of their favorite delicacies when they go out camping. 2 days later, however, someone points out something eerie in the footage. Upon close observation of the footage, you'll notice something or someone darting across the frame in the background. All who saw it believed that the creature or whatever it had fur all around and moved like a human does. Given the fact that part of Oklahoma is popular for Bigfoot sightings, all who saw it believed the boys had an encounter with Bigfoot and didn't even realize it. But what if it's not a Bigfoot? What if it's something more sinister? What if they genuinely missed an encounter with something or someone deadly and were quite fortunate to still be alive? Well, thankfully, that's something we may never have to know. Next, we have this Google Maps image that may have actually captured a ghost. I know it sounds like a stretch, but take a look at this picture. Right behind the tree, you can see a pale figure peering out. Upon zooming in, the image reveals the unmistakable pale face of a young girl. Speculation suggests that the girl likely met her demise at the location years ago and returned to haunt the area, coinciding with the time when Google captured the images. Nevertheless, there are those who argue that the figure merely represents a living little girl. According to the Viewpoint, the girl has tragically passed away since the picture was taken, effectively transforming her into a ghost. Alternatively, skeptics argue that the image could be the result of skillful photoshopping. But what say you? Next, we have this clip that was shared by a lady.
What the f***? That is not a goddamn airplane. Why the f*** is it so f***ing close? What?
She spotted this enormous craft in the night sky. You can't see the craft itself, but the glow from its lights give you an idea of just how massive it is. What's intriguing is how close it is to the buildings, and there are 2 of them. You can tell from the woman's tone that she's freaking out and is convinced that these aren't human-made crafts. Now it's got us all wondering, what could these mysterious crafts be? Do you think there's something otherworldly going on, or is there a more down-to-earth explanation for this nighttime spectacle? Share your thoughts.
The lights is off. I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know what the hell is going on.
A group of people in Brazil had a puzzling experience while driving near a forest. They noticed what seemed like a fire and decided to stop and help put it out. Instead of a regular fire, however, they found a vertical humanoid-shaped entity emitting a bright glow. Strangely enough, there was no smoke and nothing around it seemed to be catching fire. The sight made them all feel uneasy and they hesitated to get any closer. That's with the exception of one person, of course. There's always that one person. This individual tried to approach it, but the rest of the group warned him to stay back. They were very scared and unsure of what could happen. Besides, they didn't know whether it was a dangerous entity or something else entirely. Having seen the footage, what do you think we could be dealing with? In Alaska, a wildlife photographer came across a strange creature in the woods while on one of his usual photo escapades. Initially, he'd heard strange noises coming from the woods, so he began looking around with his camera, hoping to find the source. And boy, did he find it. There, among the trees, was a strange creature that did not look anything like the usual forest dweller. This creature was pale and had a hunch on its back. He only saw the back of the creature as it was moving further into the woods. My team and I are not entirely sure what we could be dealing with. I would have to say it was a rake, but they're not known to move like that. Skinwalker? Nah, I'm not sure, but what do you think? Stepping away from the demonic, we move on to the marine world, which includes marine spirits and beings. What comes to mind when you see this tale? Me? A shark or something along those lines. According to my assistant Steve, however, that's not how their tales come. He did the research and thought that this had to be some other undocumented species. Being the curious person I am, we did some research and realized it's one of 2 things: an edited footage meant to deceive those who watch it, or a genuine capture of a mermaid. According to those who are experts in all things mermaid, this is the tale of a mermaid. This is a first for us, especially without the upper body. What do you guys think? Tell us in the comments section. Take a look at this amusing footage. A cat owner caught their cat singing along to a song. The cat sings perfectly along with the song. Now, it's got me wondering, can cats actually communicate or understand us? I mean, if this feline friend loved a tune enough to join in, what else could they be hiding up their fur sleeves? Can they belt out a whole repertoire of songs, or maybe even drop some perfectly tuned meows? I guess we may never know. In Charlotte, North Carolina, a man captured this peculiar sight in the sky, a fiery object with a trail of smoke falling. Uncertain whether it was a plane on fire or something falling from space, he posted it online where viewers offered various speculations. Some suggested it could be a plane that caught fire mid-flight, but others disagreed. Some also suggested that it might be an unidentified aerial phenomenon shot down. The fact that this wasn't covered by any news agency made the whole thing even more mysterious than it ought to be. Adding to the mystery, the object didn't seem to be landing or crashing. Instead, it continued to move and navigate through the sky. That's definitely not how falling objects behave, right? What are your thoughts on this unexplained phenomenon?
What?
Now, this next footage is one that I have seen countless times, yet never been able to wrap my head around. Take a look. It was recorded by a man going through the woods late at night, and I still don't understand why people do that. Anyway, on his way, he sees a strange figure ahead which appears to be humanoid but looks the farthest thing from anything human. It puzzled him, and he doesn't move. He points for a while and then moves towards it. When he's close enough, the footage ends, and that's it. Then you start to wonder, what was it? Why did all the footage end? Did he escape with his life? Well, we have the footage, so he probably did. But then again, what did he encounter? These are questions no one has answers to. However, some in the paranormal community who live in the same region as he does state that he encountered a jinn. For those unfamiliar with the term, a jinn or a genie is a supernatural being in Islamic mythology capable of shape-shifting and possessing magical powers. They're created from smokeless fire and exist parallel to humans, unseen in their daily lives. In folklore, they're known for granting wishes to those who summon or possess time, but their nature can be unpredictable and potentially malevolent, like the two in Aladdin. So what do you think? Personally, I don't know what to make of it. On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps us out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you, so please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. Trail cams have captured quite a number of Bigfoot footage, and recent times have given us a glimpse into the lives of these elusive creatures. The next footage is no different. This trail camera captured 3 images of a spot in the woods. In the first 2, everything seems okay until we take a closer look at the third one. Behind the trees, there appears to be a body standing behind the trees, a huge furry body. Now, this could be anything at all. A bear, wolf, gorilla, just anything at all. Maybe a shadow even, but the trail cam owner is certain that this is a Bigfoot. What do you guys think? Is this the real deal or just one of those false alarms?
Can somebody tell me what the hell that is?
On a cold winter night in Albany, Kentucky, a man steps outside to feed his dog and stumbles upon mysterious prints near his home. These prints are substantial, resembling human footprints but significantly larger, suggesting a creature of considerable size and weight. Skeptics suggest the possibility of someone wearing elaborate monster shoes attempting to play a prank. On the other hand, some entertain the idea that these prints might actually belong to a truly monstrous creature. They state it might be a large bear or something more sinister. Who or what do these prints belong to? Share your thoughts in the comments section.
I'm about to feed my dog. I want y'all to look at this shit.
This video surfaced online showing a bizarre incident where an object resembling a cylinder fell from the sky and landed in a forest. The impact was accompanied by a resounding boom followed by a fiery explosion. Naturally, everyone was wondering what it could be. Some believe it's fake, whereas others believe it's very real. The skeptics believe it could be a result of skillful video editing, while others suggest it might be a part of a satellite that fell from space. Technically speaking, though, if it was a satellite that came from outside our atmosphere, it would burn up on re-entry. The only plausible explanation is that it fell from something flying within our atmosphere, a plane maybe. At least that's according to Know It All. Julius, what's your theory? Speaking of the struggle for sustenance in the wild, take a look at this next footage. The clip starts with the glowing eyes of a coyote, which seems to be in search for a possum hiding just beneath the rock. The possum knows this too, and knows that walking into the line of sight of the coyote can spell ultimate doom for it. I can only imagine how scared the possum is and what could possibly be going through its mind. Whatever it is, we may never know. But through its actions, we see this is definitely not its first rodeo. Just as the coyote prepares to strike, the possum vanishes. However, upon closer examination of the footage, two eyes can be seen deep within the rock. Unable to see and possibly smell, the coyote moves in the wrong direction and the footage ends. A part of me wants to believe that the possum actually escaped, but then again, this is the wild. I wouldn't be surprised if the coyote ended up finding and consuming it. It's sad, yes, but that's the circle of life, in the wild at least. Next, we have this trail cam that caught something mysterious. The footage captures a small black creature moving with such carefulness that it exudes an aura of mystery. When I first viewed the footage, a part of me held on to the hope of witnessing another extraordinary paranormal creature in action. However, the truth is far from fantastical. It's actually a black panther. And by Black Panther, I don't mean Wakanda forever, even though that would be nice. I'm referring to the majestic, all-black furred big cat. In case you didn't know, black panthers are melanistic jaguars or leopards. This means that they're jaguars or leopards, which were born with darker coloring than the contemporaries. In jaguars, the gene is dominant, whereas in leopards, it's recessive. That being said, encountering a black panther is an exceptionally rare occurrence. However, for the owner, having this creature captured on the trail cam was an incredibly exciting experience. As beautiful as these creatures are, do not be deceived. They can be equally dangerous. If you ever saw one in the wild, you'd be better off staying away from it.
I'm excavating. It's going down. Y'all know how I love real estate, and I usually like to build and go up. We going underground now.
Still on these bunkers, Rick Ross recently took to social media to announce that he's having a bunker built, joining a list of celebrities who have been constructing bunkers around the world. This trend of public figures investing in bunkers raises questions. Why the surge in the interest in bunkers? And what do they know that we don't? The fact that multiple celebrities are opting for bunker construction might evoke a sense of doomsday prepping. As the trend continues, it's unclear if these preparations are motivated by specific imminent threats or if it's simply a matter of personal preference for increased security and seclusion. What do you think?
I got a water maker. We got our canned goods. So if you're thinking the brothers ain't ready, we ready.
In the sunny state of California, a fast food revolution is underway, and it's not just about the flavor of the burgers. A pioneering fast food joint has embraced the future, going fully AI in its kitchen operations. The manager said that finding humans willing to tackle the dangerous task of flipping French fries has become a challenge of its own. Step inside and you'll witness a futuristic spectacle where culinary bots dance around the kitchen, seamlessly flipping burgers and orchestrating a symphony of sizzling fries. It's a dazzling display of technological prowess, but what does this mean for humans? I don't know about you, but that's another human job taken over by AI. For our next footage, we travel back in time to 2001. The following footage was captured at a youth camp located in the Marble Mountains, an area renowned for numerous Bigfoot sightings. During their stay at the campsite, the group stumbled upon a cave constructed from substantial tree branches and leaves. Intriguingly, The trees surrounding the area bore prominent claw marks. While exploring the vicinity, their attention was drawn to a creature descending from the distant mountain ridge. If the creature was human, it would be hard to spot from that distance, but this one was very visible. This left the campers believing that it had to be very big and tall. Considering the region's well-established reputation for Bigfoot encounters, the campers reached a firm conclusion. They had indeed laid eyes on a Bigfoot. Watch this zoomed-in footage. You should see that although it's walking as humans do, it's clearly not human. I mean, pay close attention to its body proportions as well. It's also definitely much bigger and taller than a human would be. What do you think, though? Have you ever seen a saint? Oh, wait, allow me to rephrase that. Have you ever seen a being glow in such a serene and angelic form that you can't help but believe he or she is a saint? If you haven't, consider yourself lucky because we have footage recorded by a man who encountered something glowing atop a tree. He brought out his camera to film and saw it was not a thing, but rather a person. It was a shocking sight, but it frightened him even more. After all, it seems incredibly strange for a person, let alone a woman, to approach such a location and remain completely motionless. Some religious individuals might claim that she is none other than Mary, the mother of Jesus, making an appearance on earth. In fact, some who saw the footage called it a miracle. Yet there are so many things that make it look like a well-orchestrated prank. For starters, there's no trace of the man who captured the footage. He simply uploads the video and seemingly disappears without trace. Beyond that, the woman looks like a poor attempt at making realistic CGI, making it blend weirdly with the rest of the footage. Could this be an elaborate hoax? Well, we think it is, but what do you think? Tell us in the comments section. There have been talks of scientific attempts to open portals to other dimensions. In this clip, a cloud shaped like a large donut is seen resembling a portal. Naturally, this has resurrected the subject on paranormal platforms. Much of this portal discussion is associated with the CERN Collider, where rumors suggest that there have been attempts to open such gateways. The Mandela effect has also been linked to the CERN machine. Rumors and testimony suggest that we learned of this technology in the Montauk Tunnels. Montauk Tunnels likely refer to the Montauk Project, a series of alleged secret U.S. government projects. These claims are, however, largely considered to be conspiracy theories and they lack substantial evidence. Back to the clip. What do you think could be happening here? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Hold on to your hat for this next clip because it may be the creepiest and most mysterious encounter captured on a night security cam. This guy was chilling by the roadside when, out of the blue, an unseen force gave him a solid shove backwards. Now, most people would be pretty startled, right? Well, this guy takes it up a notch. He gets all worked up, grabs a stone, and starts pointing and threatening the air as if he's got a bone to pick with an invisible opponent. But here's the twist. If you scrutinize the footage, there's a momentary appearance of hazy white orbs right when the man experiences the push, vanishing almost as quickly as they materialize. What makes it strange is that the man's reaction has some folks wondering if he might be onto whatever invisible entity pulled off the stunt. So what could it be? Some people pointed out that this could be a jinn. A jinn, also known as a genie, is a supernatural creature in Islamic mythology and theology. According to Islamic folklore, jinn are believed to inhabit remote or desolate areas, and encounters with them can be both beneficial and dangerous. Some jinn are considered mischievous or malevolent, while others may be benevolent and helpful. In this case, it seems like the man encountered a rather mischievous one. There have been strange signs in the sky from all around the world that sometimes make me wonder if the world is finally coming to an end, as we have heard 1,000 times. In this footage, we see a strange slanted line of bright clouds across the sky. I must say it's a beautiful sight to behold, but at the same time, I can't help but wonder if there is something behind this. This could also just be a beautiful display of nature, but the human tendency to associate extraordinary events with the end of times is as old as time itself. So while the sky continues to paint its masterpieces and leave us in wonder, let's appreciate the beauty without necessarily jumping to apocalyptic conclusions. For those who do not know what a chupacabra is, it's a mythical creature that is known to drain the blood out of the livestock, and the one who sent in this next footage believes he caught one on tape. Take a look. Given by my description, you'd expect to see a creature on the hunt or one that looks intimidating, but instead we're met with a creature that's deep into some serious plant sniffing. That's definitely not the behavior you'd expect from a creature known for draining the life out of animals. That leaves us with one question. What if we're dealing with a case of mistaken identity? Perhaps a herbivore battling the dreaded mange disease. That can make it look a bit more chupacabra-esque. The sniffing of plants will make sense if it's just a misunderstood vegetarian with a skin condition. What's your take on this strange-looking chupacabra, though? Tell us in the comments section. Ever wondered how offshore drilling stations remain anchored and don't float away? Someone has built a model to shed light on this engineering marvel. The explanation involves filling the pockets of oil with air to balance the pressure inside the pocket when oil is retrieved, preventing it from collapsing. Additionally, these pockets are filled with waste material, specifically seabed material, to provide additional stability. While this engineering solution appears to be effective in preventing the structures from floating away, concerns may arise about the environmental impact of using waste seabed material. The model aims to strike a balance between maintaining stability and environmental safety. Scientists assert that the method is considered safe, although ongoing scrutiny and assessment of environmental consequences are essential. Wondering why I added this? Well, I thought it would be a cool thing to know. No, you aren't seeing things. Someone has actually attached a mysterious device to a cockroach and hooked it up to a computer to allow him to control the insect's movements with a phone. Yeah, you heard it right, and obviously you can see it too. He's actually staring a cockroach with a few taps on a phone. Take a moment to absorb that. If they can do this with a roach, what's next? How is he even doing this? Well, no one actually knows, and a user named Rezile007 suggests frequencies might be involved. He also adds a bit of conspiracy when he states that we might have been subtly influenced by such technologies for years without realizing it. The thought of that is scary, to say the least. As the debate continues, an unsettling question hangs. Is this just the beginning? Are we to expect more? Are human trials next? Wait. Could they have already started it? You know what? I'd pause here and hear from you guys. Next, we have another glitch that's a tad confusing. Anyone who has used any of these things should know this isn't how they're supposed to work. The man should have gone through freely, but that's not the case. Another one of those bars just appears out of nowhere. It has you wondering, could we be looking at a defective unit, or is what we are seeing merely a glitch in the Matrix? It's hard for us to definitely say, given the limited information we have, but what do you think? Tell us in the comments section. In this footage, a group of divers came across this body in the depths of the ocean. While it's nothing new that some people do throw away evidence of their crime in the sea, this body they found, however, was a little bit strange. The body had a mask on, and when the diver went closer to take a look, the person's eyes were wide open. Was he alive? Well, that's hard to say, but if we are to go by logic, I'd say no. Given the way the mask was stuck on his face, it was almost as though it had been glued there. Could this be an elaborate prank by the divers, or are we looking at what could possibly be a crime scene? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Now this is one for the books. Yep, that's a cow somehow wedged between the branches of a tree. The official word is that it happened during a flood. But hold on, a closer look at the footage and things might not add up as expected. The question on everyone's mind, what in the world is going on here? Floods typically leave behind visible signs of their impact, such as displaced vegetation, mud, or debris. Looking at the footage, I don't see any of that. It's also essential to consider the possibility that the floodwaters may have receded, leaving less obvious signs of their presence. What's your take on this baffling scenario, though? Do you think the floods are truly responsible, or could the cow have miscalculated its jump over the moon? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Take a look at this intriguing image. The Pope was captured with a peculiar symbol on his robe resembling an alien. The Pope is a symbol of religious authority, so why would he have an alien-like symbol on his robe? Does it hint at the existence of these otherworldly beings? On the contrary, some suggest that the symbol might be a cultural sign from a country he visited, worn as a gesture of respect. This brings forth the possibility that the symbol holds culture. The juxtaposition of the Pope, a figure of religious importance, with a symbol resembling an alien sparks curiosity about the intention behind this choice. What are your thoughts on this mysterious symbol on the Pope's robe? Did you see that? The footage was apparently taken by a trail cam in the woods. In the footage, we see a creature rummaging through the forest, diligently clearing any sticks or branches obstructing its path. A look at the creature reveals it's part human and part goat, akin to a Greek satyr. A person without knowledge of Roman mythology will call this creature Goatman, which, although a human-goat hybrid, is slightly different. But as much as we'd like to believe we're looking at a real footage, it's evident it's not. I mean, the individual didn't even try to make it real. Since when could trail cameras follow individuals around? The editing is real, and the costume is obviously not real either. The footage upset the paranormal community a lot, and for the first time, I'm upset with them. As much as we love our paranormal footage, no one loves to feel insulted by fake videos. The literal start to most horror movies is people camping out in the woods, but for some odd reason, we are yet to get the memo. This group of campers were having the time of their lives in the woods, lounging around a fire when one of them decided she needed to find a place to attend. Nature's call. The rest of the camping crew stayed put, understanding the need for privacy in such situations. They even engaged in a discussion about how long was too long. Minutes had passed, and they began to get worried because she'd been gone for way too long. As they ventured out in search of their friend, an eerie cry pierced the air, sending shivers down their spines. The alarmed campers ran into the woods in search of the friend, but found something that left them all petrified. In the heart of the woods, they stumbled upon a peculiar structure resembling a hut constructed from twigs and small tree branches. As they approached for a closer look, they noticed a presence within the structure. They moved closer, and in an instant, a creature burst out of the small hut, pursuing them. Let's take a closer look, but in slow-mo. Did you see that? It's a humanoid creature with 4 arms, 2 on each side, with one stacked on top of the other, resembling what the legs of a spider would look like if they were human. This is crazy. What kind of creature could that be? Well, we can't definitely say, but it doesn't align with any of our known paranormal creature profiles. Within the paranormal community, there are individuals who suspect the entire incident might be a hoax. I mean, if they dropped the camera with the creature, how did they retrieve it? And what's with the hands looking almost rubbery, almost like a bodysuit? While these are valid questions, it could simply be us looking for a way to disprove the footage. For the first time in a long time, we find ourselves genuinely perplexed as the verdict could swing in either direction. Perhaps you could clear the air. What do you think about the whole thing? Real or fake? Tell us in the comments section. Our next clip comes from Brooklyn, New York. In the clip, you can see a shadow cast on the buildings, but when you look up, there's nothing there. There's absolutely no object that should be casting such a shadow. So how is this shadow there? Do you remember the movie Nope? This gives such vibes. Some believe that this could be the shadow of an alien craft cloaked from the human eye. I mean, it sounds like a good explanation, don't you think? There's also the possibility that it could be atmospheric conditions, reflections, or some unknown natural phenomena creating unusual shadows. That I doubt, however. What are your thoughts on this mysterious shadow over Brooklyn, New York? Lately, there's been a lot of news about billionaires worldwide investing in building underground bunkers. Reports indicate that some have already started constructing these bunkers equipped with advanced facilities. These underground hideouts are rumored to have amenities such as parking for yachts and submarines, along with high-tech security systems that can withstand external attacks. Some think that they're preparing for World War II, while many others are wondering if something significant is happening behind the scenes. What do you think? Stepping away from all the aggression, let's move on to something that's quite frankly odd and eerie looking. Caught on camera is a peculiar white and pale, ghostly-looking creature that moves slightly to its side and back to its original state. It has arms and legs resembling that of a human, but eyes as large as those you'd expect to see on an alien. Taking in all its features, it bears a haunting resemblance to the infamous rake that at times walks on its fours, giving an illusion of a crawling figure. In a realm dominated by stories of Bigfoot, vampires, werewolves, and shapeshifters, this footage reveals something truly otherworldly. As you can see from the footage, the creature is in no way trying to hide, and many who have seen it have reported it to the authorities. Some have even reported missing on nights when it's been seen. Despite the reports and officers assigned to the case, nothing substantial has come up. It's almost as though it's only seen when it allows it to be. With a video from the Saskatchewan River in Canada. If the name does not immediately give it away, trust me when I tell you that the footage features a creature that many have thought existed only in fairy tales. Don't believe me? Watch the footage. The footage you're about to see was captured by a group of friends on a fishing excursion. As with all fishing trips, they were having fun and preparing their baits to catch some fish when all of a sudden they spotted a creature moving merely a few feet away from them. If you pay attention to the right side of the footage, you should see it. Did you? The creature looks like some type of ape-like creature, but appears to be much larger and seems to be effortlessly walking on its 2 feet, which we all know is something humans and not apes are capable of doing at the moment. Furthermore, the creature was covered in head-to-toe brown fur, adding to its mysterious appearance. We've no idea what it was doing at the riverbank, but one thing is certain, it didn't want anyone seeing it. Unfortunately for it and those at the riverbank, however, it was spotted. Realizing its cover had been blown, it runs for the trees, and the individuals at the riverbank, who also didn't understand or know what they were looking at, panicked and also took off. They shared the footage online, convinced that they had seen Bigfoot. Personally, I can't help but find the creature reminiscent of Bigfoot. Just like in classic Bigfoot videos, it showed no real interest in the people present, merely desiring to be left undisturbed. As much as I'm inclined to believe it's the real deal, there's a part of me that remains skeptical, questioning its authenticity. Their reaction seems somewhat unnatural, though it could just be my nitpicking nature. What do you think about the whole thing? This man shared an unusual experience online. According to him, a plane repeatedly flew over his house, dropping tiny pellets all over his property. The perplexing behavior of the aircraft circling back to repeat the process naturally made him worried and curious. He uploaded the footage online, and a gardener who viewed the footage mentioned a similar occurrence in Minnesota where planes were reportedly spraying strange chemicals in the air. This activity was described as damaging crops and making farming nearly impossible. Other individuals also shared similar accounts. So why is this happening? First, we got people building suspicious bunkers, and now this. Destroying crops? I mean, what's next? A family recorded this strange event on their Ring doorbell camera. The video shows a mysterious creature with no hair, big dark eyes, and strange teeth. The online community has been buzzing with each comment trying to define and describe what the creature might be. Some stated that it might be a cat or hairless raccoon. While recording these comments, well, I wondered where these comments were coming from. I mean, it doesn't even look like a cat. The first thing that comes to mind when I saw it was Hooper from the Bugs Life animation movie. Tell me the resemblance isn't uncanny. Our hypothesis is simple. It has to be a grasshopper. I mean, Hooper was a grasshopper, right? But then again, you have to wonder, why is it at that door? Is he regular? Could there be something going on here that we're not privy to? Share your thoughts in the comments section. A homeowner was woken up in the middle of the night by a strange tapping on the window. He went to check it out, and this is what he found. It was tapping on the glass from the outside. The creature had a monkey-like creature with wings was tapping on the glass from the outside. The creature had bat-like wings with bright yellow fur around its neck. It looked like it wanted to get into the house, persistently tapping on the glass. The terrified man didn't dare to open the window or investigate further. Some viewers speculate that the creature would be some type of bat, given its wings and nocturnal behavior. However, its face resembled that of a monkey, which is highly unusual for any known species of bat. Others think that this could be a paranormal creature, something out of folklore or myth. What do you think? Is this a rare, undiscovered species, a genetic anomaly, or perhaps something paranormal? Or maybe, just maybe, we had visitors from the Wizard of Oz. They have winged monkeys, remember? Undiscovered intriguing tracks near Meek's cabin by the long day ready to relax. He was startled to discover a homeowner arrived home after a long day ready to relax. He was startled to discover something straight out of a nightmare approaching his front door. His eyes widened at the sight before him. From above, resembling snail slime but thicker. A clear, slimy substance hung down from above, resembling snail slime but thicker. Suspended from this sticky thread was a strange, shell-less creature wiggling about in the air. The creature looked like a snail, yet it lacked the familiar shell. Its body twisted and turned, seemingly defying gravity as it dangled from the slime. Was this a new or rarely seen species? Perhaps it was a type of slug exhibiting some unusual behavior. Julius says it's possible that they're mating snails. Now, I don't know how factual that is because he was not in his element when I asked him. Can any of you confirm this? Also, what would you do if you encountered such a sight? Let us know in the comments section. Do you believe in aliens? Before you say no, watch this footage. Back in the 1990s, a UFO sighting in Varginha, Brazil, was accompanied by an alleged alien encounter. The military observed strange crafts in the sky that were eventually shot down. Upon reaching the crash site, they reportedly retrieved an alien and placed it in a box. The creature had huge red eyes and appeared lifeless on the ground. At the time of the incident, not much information was reported, and it seems the government made efforts to keep it under wraps. The authenticity of this event remains a subject of debate. Some believe it to be a genuine alien encounter, while others argue that it could be a hoax or a misinterpretation of conventional phenomena. The lack of substantial evidence and the secretive nature of the incident contributed to the mystery surrounding the Varginha UFO sighting. What do you think of it? Step into the future with the Tesla Bot. This cutting-edge robot promises to tackle your daily chores at home, conquer yard work, and even handle those repetitive office tasks. Rumor has it that this futuristic household assistant comes with a price tag of around $20,000. Now, the buzz surrounding this technological marvel is not just fascinating, but also a tad alarming. It goes beyond the idea of AI potentially replacing human workers. It's about the intelligence embedded in these robots. Even Elon Musk, the alleged brains behind these bots, has expressed concerns about AI evolving to a point where it surpasses human intelligence. While I'd want to believe these could be real, I'm a bit skeptical about them. It would be weird for Elon, who has been concerned about the dangers of AI, to suddenly start producing robots that have them incorporated. What's more, I couldn't find any official information on these bots. Is someone trying to mislead us, or is Tesla doing these things under the wraps? Share your thoughts in the comments section. A man and his friends decided to go out in the woods to take pictures of nature, the beautiful trees and the sky. But when they got to one particular tree, they ended up running back home in sheer terror. At first glance, they looked like birds. Perched on the tree were about 3 creatures. At first glance, they looked like birds. However, when the camera zoomed in, it became clear that there were no ordinary birds. They had web-like wings similar to bats, but they were much larger and had humanoid bodies. When the footage was posted online, many people were skeptical, believing it to be a clever CGI work. The debate raged on, with some insisting it was genuine while others dismissed it as a hoax. But what do you think? Could these creatures be an undiscovered species, or perhaps beings from folklore brought to life? Or is this just another example of impressive digital effects? At the final footage of today's episode that was taken at an undisclosed location, there are many stories of people seeing things on highways, as these are often the sites of ghastly accidents due to all the speeding cars. A similar eerie encounter happened in this footage. A group of friends were driving home late one night after a night out when something chilling occurred. A group of friends were driving home late one night after a night out when something chilling occurred. A dark figure appeared on the side of the road. Considering it was a highway in the late hour, it seemed very unlikely that anyone would be out there. The friends in the car were so spooked by the figure that they sped off in terror, their hearts racing and minds reeling with fear. This kind of sighting is not uncommon on highways known for fatal accidents. So what do you think it was? Was it a ghost of someone who had likely passed away in an accident there, or perhaps an otherworldly entity haunting that lonely stretch of road? But nothing could have prepared me for these. A man was knee-deep in construction work on the mountains, diligently breaking and clearing the terrain when he began to feel rather uneasy. Suddenly, he glances up and spots something on a distant peak. Behold, the silhouette of a colossal creature covered from head to toe in what appeared to be thick fur. He was not one for superstitions, but he wondered, could this be the legendary Bigfoot towering and observing as a human transforms its mountainous abode? He doesn't know, but that's exactly what he felt was happening. If the footage is to be believed, it does look like the big guy doesn't like it one bit. What do you think? If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more of these videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. This woman took some snow and melted it into a glass cup. Then she took a magnet and placed it on the cup. Look at what happens. The dark substance in the water moves toward the magnet. Is this what's in our waters? People were taken aback by this demonstration, but one viewer had quite an interesting take on it. They wrote this: Dust particles contain bits of iron from all sorts of agricultural and industrial industries. These dust particles rise up into the clouds and then come down in the form of rain or snow. Since snow is frozen water, it will hold more of these dust particles. Thus, when it snows, if you grab a handful of it and melt it into a container, you'll find dirt, iron, microplastics, and other elements. In the end, they also added that there might be whatever else the governments of the world put into the atmosphere to geoengineer our climate or potentially affect our health. What do you think? The Grim Reaper, a figure steeped in myth and legend, is often depicted as the personification of death itself, appearing in various cultures with his signature scythe and black robes. But does such an entity truly exist, or is it merely a product of human imagination and folklore? Recently, footage surfaced depicting a dark-robed entity floating in the night sky, prompting speculation about the existence of the Grim Reaper. While this figure lacked the notable scythe typically associated with the Grim Reaper, the eerie atmosphere it exuded led the poster of the footage to believe that they had captured the legendary entity on camera. So what can we make of this encounter? Could this dark-robed figure truly be the Grim Reaper, manifesting in our world to claim souls as myth suggests? Or is it simply a trick of the light or a case of mistaken identity? If you thought that was strange, The Matrix isn't the only subject that makes me question reality. Recently, there's been a surge of sightings of fairy tale creatures in real life, blurring the lines between myth and reality. People are sharing footage of gnomes, dragons, and even fairies. Take a look at this intriguing clip shared by a man who saw something unusual on his way home. Initially, it appears to be a piece of dried wood lying on the ground. However, as the camera zooms in, you can see that this stick has a head and a face with detailed features that are unmistakably lifelike. Its legs resemble those of a grasshopper, giving it an otherworldly appearance. The creature lies motionless on the ground with its eyes closed, giving it an eerie, almost enchanting quality. Is this real, or is it a hoax? Speaking of glitches, here's another. This footage was sent in by a man whose tap suddenly stopped flowing. He turned around to take a look, and this is what he saw. Yes, you're seeing right. The drops of water are suspended. Bear in mind that the tap is still open and expected to be flowing. You look in the sink and you can see that the tap was flowing before. Is there a scientific explanation for this, or is this another glitch? Please share your thoughts. We've seen our fair share of bizarre situations on the internet over the years. Some are carefully crafted, while others are very real. The footage we're about to see is one that's definitely gone down in history. Take a look. In the clip, we see a man holding a peculiar-looking creature. The creature has the body of a hen with white and orange-looking feathers. Its face, on the other hand, tells a completely different story. It has the face of an ape. When I first saw the footage, I was quick to call it a hoax until I noticed this. As the body of the hen moved, the head still looked intact and real. There's no indication of it being a fake unless, of course, we're talking about CGI. A part of me wants to be excited about this being real, but logic wouldn't allow me. What do you guys think? Can we believe this is real, or is this an attempt by someone with good tech skills trying to lead us astray? Share your thoughts with me in the comment section. Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. You know the saying, don't start something you cannot finish. Well, take a look at this footage.
Baby blue.
Two women were performing a fertility ritual in their room. One person had the camera and the other was sitting. Two women were performing a fertility ritual in their room. One person had the camera, and the other was saying in front of the camera as she recited some incantation and swung her arms back and forth as if she was cradling a baby. As she continued, right behind at her door, a pale head with dark hollow eyes poked its head in and stared right at them before quickly retreating. The woman holding the camera saw this and immediately alerted her friend. They both began to scream in panic and confusion. Did these women just summon an entity during the ritual? The sudden appearance of this eerie figure certainly suggests they may have disturbed something otherworldly. This is why we must be careful when meddling with these types of things. Julius thinks this is ridiculous, but I bet there are some of you who have done stuff like that with strange and unexplainable results or occurrences. Care to share? There are many stories of people of nightmares. Imagine stumbling upon this giant. This creature is the stuff of nightmares. Imagine stumbling upon this giant worm with its menacing teeth. Definitely not your average encounter. The lack of details on its origin leaves room for speculation. Is it a creature from the depths of the ocean, a newly discovered species, or just a remarkable creation of special effects? Regardless, if it's not a man-made prop, encountering such a beast would be a jaw-dropping moment, quite literally. Let's hope it's just a product of someone's vivid imagination, because if not, humanity might just need to rethink its place in the food chain. Sizes, some are very small, some are big, while it's always disheartening to hear about animals facing health challenges and chronic wasting disease, or CWD for short, and it's a particularly concerning condition for the deer populations. In this footage, a deer is spotted moving around, and it's not possessed but rather suffering from CWD, a neurological disease affecting deer and other cervids. CWD is a prion disease that impacts the brain and nervous system of deer, causing abnormal behavior such as this one, weight loss, and eventually death. It's a serious concern for wildlife management as it can have significant impacts on deer. This poor deer. Who would have thought, right? Monkeys take a dip in the river. Now that's a sight to behold. This fella was seen swimming in a river. Who knew our tree-swinging friends had a secret talent for the backstroke? Turns out a lot of people, and this is actually normal for these species of monkeys. Nature never fails to surprise us, and apparently our primate friends are breaking stereotype and diving into the swimming scene. It's like they've got a whole new set of skills up their furry sleeves. So next time you're by a river, keep an eye out. You might just spot a monkey taking a leisurely swim, proving once again that nature loves to keep us on our toes. What do we have here? Someone trying to pick up this strange-looking creature on the muddy ground with a pair of chopsticks. The creature was sandwiched between the sticks, but as soon as he tried to lift it, the creature vanished from the spot and appeared in another position, almost as if it had teleported. Well, this intriguing creature is called the mudskipper. Mudskippers are fascinating amphibious fish known for their ability to move and survive both in water and on land. They use their pectoral fins to walk on the muddy surfaces of their habitats and their unique appearance and behaviors. While it may seem like the mudskipper teleported, it's actually a combination of its quick, agile movements and its ability to blend into its muddy surroundings that creates this illusion. This creature is the stuff. There are many unexplained things that we've come across that sometimes defy explanation. People often create conspiracies in hopes of making sense of these strange phenomena. Take a look at this footage, for instance. A hand holds up this freaky-looking fish. The fish has two mouths. Yes, you heard that right. Two mouths, one on top of the other. Both mouths were wide open, giving the fish a bizarre appearance. To add to the strangeness, the fish also has 4 eyes, 2 on each side of its face. This footage has raised a lot of eyebrows. Some suggest it's simply a deformed fish, perhaps the result of conjoined twins that didn't fully separate. Others believe that environmental factors, such as pollution or chemicals in the water, could have caused this deformity. There are also those who think this might be some kind of experiment gone wrong in a lab, leading to this unusual creature. What do you think? Here we have another footage of the strange noise from the sky. In this video footage, a woman records a loud and strange noise coming from the sky outside her home. Curious and slightly unnerved, the woman went outside to record the sound. The noise continued for a while before eventually stopping. Some few moments later, it began again and she went outside to record it once more. These sounds are haunting and eerie. Some people believe these sounds could be linked to the end of the world as described in the Bible. Specifically, they point to the sound of the trumpet as a sign of the apocalypse. However, others believe that there could be other explanations for these strange occurrences. What are your thoughts, though? Do you believe that these sounds could be a sign of the end of times, or do you think that there are other explanations for these strange occurrences? There are theories of strange chemicals in our air and even metals. Could that be why this group of individuals are standing out with metal detectors in their hands? It sounds weird, but the original posts seem to suggest so. As you can see in the footage, these people are all standing outside on a field, holding metal detectors above their heads with hope of detecting any metal. However, as you listen to the footage, you can hear these strange sounds coming from the devices. But looking at the devices, are they not beeping because they're detecting each other? The devices are made of metal. However, a commenter made this comment. As someone who has metal detected as a hobby for 4+ years, they aren't going off because of metal in the air. The reasons all the detectors are going off is because they're ringing off of each other. This happens all the time and is very annoying if you're metal detecting with someone else in a small space. This is another fear lingering post. While there may be some theories about the presence of strange metals or chemicals in our atmosphere, this particular exercise may not be the best way to verify such claims. What would you do if you returned to your locked car and saw a pair of glowing eyes staring back at you through the window of the passenger side? A man found himself in exactly this situation late one night, and it was an experience he won't soon forget. As he approached his car, he noticed something peculiar inside. On the passenger side, a pale face with glowing eyes appeared briefly, staring intently at him. Before he could fully comprehend what he was seeing, the face vanished as quickly as it had appeared. Understandably shocked, he cautiously opened the car door. To his bewilderment, there was no one inside. The car was empty, with no signs of the eerie visitor he had just seen. The incident left him deeply unnerved. If it were me in that situation, I'd probably leave the car right there and opt for a taxi or an Uber home. The thought of driving off after such an encounter is just too unsettling, and honestly, getting the car exorcised or blessed might not seem so far-fetched after an experience like that. Because really, what on earth was that thing? What would you do in this situation? Share your thoughts and reactions. These days, there are many things coming out that makes me question if everything we know about the world and the earth is even true anymore. Take a look at this footage. A man was taking a video of the moon in the sky, and as he zoomed in, something strange happened. The moon looked like it was a kite, and then its shape glitched out. The color also shifted to a shade between pink and red. Wow. Now, is this even possible? We all know that the moon is round, but sometimes appears crescent when there is a shadow over part of it. So what is this odd shape in the sky? This makes you wonder if all the talks about a matrix world are real. It's unsettling to consider the possibility that our perception of reality might be manipulated or incomplete. What do you make of this footage? In a small town located in South Africa, an unusual and fascinating creature was spotted by some residents. According to eyewitnesses, the creature appeared to be a mermaid with a blue fish tail. It was seen above the water, and it raises its tail before dropping back into the water and swimming away. Conversations about these creatures always start a debate, and this was no different. While some people believe that mermaids are real, others are convinced that they're simply a myth and don't exist. Some viewers even suggest that the creature in question might have been a siren instead of a mermaid, as sirens are also known to inhabit the ocean and have similar traits to mermaids. Despite the debate, many viewers who saw the footage of the mermaid were adamant that it was a genuine sighting and that the creature was, in fact, a mermaid. However, some skeptics argued that it was likely a person in a costume and the footage could have been staged. Looking at the unnatural way it moves in the water, I'm tempted to believe it's true, but that's perhaps just me. What do you think about this fascinating sighting? Do you believe it's the real deal, or do you think that it's just a hoax? Share your thoughts. A group of fishermen had a unique catch recently that has left many intrigued. They managed to catch a landsfish from the ocean, which is a rare species of fish that is not often seen. The fish was long and slender with a silver body that shimmered in the sunlight. Its most notable feature was a set of long fins on its back that resembled a sail, giving it a distinctive appearance. Despite its striking appearance, the fishermen were initially unsure what type of fish it was. Some speculated that it could be a hybrid of a barracuda and a sailfish. Looking at it, I can see why they think that. Someone even said that it was a result of underwater nuclear testing. However, after some research, we confirmed that it was truly a lancetfish. For those unfamiliar with it, it's a deep-sea fish that is known to live at depths of up to 1,500 meters. They're known for their elongated and slender bodies, sharp teeth, and long dorsal fin that runs the length of their body. They're often found in the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans and are known to be formidable predators, feeding on a variety of smaller fish and squid. Cool, huh?
That's a gnarly... See you later, bud.
The number of unusual sightings in the sky these days is quite strange, if not alarming. Recently, someone shared this intriguing footage of something they captured floating over the ocean. It was a white figure in the sky that resembled a person with their arms stretched wide. The figure looked like a cloud, but there was no other clouds in the sky, just this singular human-shaped formation. It seems very odd for the only small patch of cloud in the blue sky to be shaped like a person. This led to a lot of speculation. Some believe it could be a holographic projection, but who would be out at the ocean looking up to see this? Others think it could be an actual being in the sky. What do you think? Is this a mysterious being, a clever hologram, or just a peculiar cloud formation? In this next footage, someone discovered intriguing tracks near Meek's cabin by the water. The muddy ground perfectly molded the footprint impressions into its surface. The site where this print was captured is said to be a Bigfoot hotspot. The prints, although seemingly human, have an unusual appearance. They feature a mid-tarsal ridge and a significant girth, unlike typical human footprints. The debate over the existence of Bigfoot has been ongoing for years, with numerous sightings and evidence. The distinct characteristics of these tracks could point to the legendary creature, but they might also belong to someone with an unusual foot structure. So are we looking at a Bigfoot track, or are these just the prints of a human with oddly shaped big feet?
What's that? Can you hear that noise? What is that?
8 years ago, a YouTube channel, Marty Dennison, posted this footage online. It was strange trumpet noises echoing from the sky. The whole household came to listen to it, and this was in Sydney. The phenomenon was, however, heard in various parts of the world. But what are these sounds, and why are people hearing them all over the world? Well, I did some digging and came across some information. According to the American Academy of Audiology, they are called skyquakes. While numerous theories have been proposed to explain the phenomenon, there is still no definitive explanation that has been universally accepted by researchers. Some of the most prominent of theories state that skyquakes could be caused by seismic activity such as earthquakes or volcanic eruptions. Another possibility is that they're caused by atmospheric changes like thunder or lightning. It's also possible that they may be caused by the interaction of ocean waves with the Earth's crust. Some people have suggested more unconventional explanations for skyquakes, including sonic booms generated by military aircraft or atmospheric disturbances caused by electromagnetic phenomena. Despite the many ideas that have been put forward, skyquakes remain a mystery. What do you make of the whole thing?
What is that?
So scary.
Next, we visit a beach in Venezuela where a peculiar phenomenon occurred. The sand on the beach was seen to be shifting and rumbling, creating a commotion among the people present. As the ground opened up, it revealed a strange-looking object that appeared to be rising from beneath the sand. The object was massive, and its shape was difficult to discern due to the sand still clinging to it. There are many speculations about what it could be. Some suggested that it could be nothing but a natural disaster, perhaps a landslide or earthquake waiting to happen. A few people speculated that it could be some creature living underground that was coming out to the surface. Some even went as far as suggesting that it could be an alien ship emerging from the sand. In the absence of any official report, the incident remains a mystery, and people continue to speculate about what it could have been. Having seen the clip, what do you think we're dealing with? Snakes are animals that come in all shapes and sizes. Some are very small, some are big, while others are gigantic. In a remote location, a group of men arrived at a farm one morning and made a startling discovery. They found a 30-meter-long shed skin of a snake. The sight of such an enormous snake skin left them in awe, contemplating the sheer size of the snake that had left it behind. This incredible find raises numerous questions. What kind of snake could have shed such a massive skin? Could it be a reticulated python known to grow to extraordinary lengths? Or perhaps it belongs to an anaconda, one of the largest snakes in the world. The discovery of such a large shed skin hints at the presence of a truly gigantic serpent, one that might still be lurking somewhere nearby. If I were him and this clip was truly real, I'd engage the services of animal control or relocate. A snake of that size will make a meal of me in no time. What about you? What would you do? If you thought that was strange, here's another strange floating object that was shared on our paranormal platforms. This time, it wasn't a dark entity, but an oddly shaped white thing twirling right above the ground. This object was seen near a light pole, seemingly dancing in the air. There was no indication of wind blowing, and this thing didn't look like typical debris. So what could we be looking at? Could it be a peculiar type of balloon or a plastic bag caught in unusual air current? Or perhaps it's something more mysterious, an unexplained phenomenon, or even a paranormal occurrence?
Oh, here's another one right here. You see him? Flying right over our heads. pointing it right at him. And now he's turning.
A family in California saw this peculiar-looking star moving in the sky using night vision glasses. The strange-looking stars were moving in the clouds as the people used green lasers to follow their movement. At a certain point, it blinked light and continued moving. It's pretty obvious by now that that is not a star up there. Some netizens said it was a drone. Someone also says it's a UFO, but not an alien, just something in the sky. And some were very certain that this was an alien, even going further to say they have been seeing them all the time. What do you think, though? Alien or something else entirely? Share your thoughts.
Flying right over our heads. Pointing it right at him. And now he's turning.
Ooh,
Yeah.
flashed.
Yeah, you see him?
Yeah, it just flashed.
I'm lasering at him.
Our next clip opens up with an unusual object falling from the sky. The object appears to be a glowing cloud-like mass resembling a balloon more than a typical cloud. It's purple with an orange, fiery color and has a strange, unexplainable shape. The object can be seen rotating in the sky as it moves. At first, many thought it could be something otherworldly, perhaps a UFO. Looking at the clip, it's understandable why they think that. It looks like something that will come out from a spaceship or something alien. While many were buying into the idea, members of the scientific community stated that it could be wreckage from one of the SpaceX launches that were ejected into space and are now falling back to Earth. Looking at the clip, this looks like the more plausible explanation for what we are seeing. Either that or there's some serious alien camouflage. I've come across conversations about frequencies and how essential and influential they can be, specifically how certain frequencies in music we listen to can affect our mood and overall well-being. Recently, I discovered some intriguing information about a particular frequency known as the miracle tone or love frequency, which is at 528 Hz. According to proponents of this frequency, when it's played, it can reconstruct human DNA and repair it to a perfect state. This process is believed to provide clarity of mind, inner peace, and even physical healing. These types of frequency tones or music are called healing tones. The 528 Hz frequency in particular is often referred to as the DNA repair frequency. It is said to resonate at the core of everything that connects to our heart, spiritual essence, and divine harmonica. Some people believe that listening to music tuned to this frequency can help promote healing and transformation on a cellular level. Is this accurate and legitimate? Well, it's hard to say. Different frequencies are associated with different perceived tones and pitches when heard by humans. There is some scientific evidence that certain sound frequencies can influence brainwave activity and have psychological emotional effects when listened to. However, many of the specific claims made about the impact of individual frequencies like 528 Hz on biological processes like DNA repair are controversial and not universally accepted by mainstream science. Would you give it a try? Considering all the weirdness and stress in the world, this might be a simple yet powerful way to enhance our well-being and find some much-needed peace. Or a complete waste of time. Who knows? Take a look at this footage, captured in the middle of the woods by a late-night adventurer. On the forest floor lay a grotesque creature. It lay still with its arms crossed over its chest. The creature was pale, with long white hair cascading from its head and a single long horn protruding from its forehead. It appeared lifeless on the ground. The creature resembles something out of a dark fairy tale or a mythological cryptid. However, when the footage was posted, many people in our paranormal communities were skeptical, suggesting it was just a costume rather than a genuine cryptid. What do you think? Personally, I can understand why they think that, since this is one of the least convincing cryptids we've ever featured on this channel. But what are your thoughts? Is this an actual encounter with an unknown creature, or is it just an expertly crafted prop meant to deceive? You tell me. Have you heard about the innovative building constructed in Japan by the renowned Nendo Studio? This incredible structure has been designed to play a pivotal role in reducing carbon emissions and absorbing CO2 from the environment. The building has been constructed using a special type of concrete known as CO2 Suicom, which has been engineered to minimize the release of harmful gases during production. The walls of this house have been made from state-of-the-art concrete, making it a pioneering example of eco-friendly architecture. By embracing technologies like this, we can take a significant step toward mitigating the environmental impact of traditional concrete production. What do you think about the future of construction? Do you see this as a game-changing development in the field? Has the recent AI craze got you worried about computers taking over the world? Well, I hate to do this, but your worries are about to get a whole lot bigger. Intel has just rolled out Hala Point, and it's a big deal in the world of neuromorphic computing. This beast is the largest neuromorphic computer ever made, boasting 1,152 Lothi-2 chips. These chips mimic a whopping 1.15 billion artificial neurons and a mind-boggling 128 billion synapses spread across a whopping 140,544 processing cores. This means it can handle a staggering 20 quadrillion operations per second, which is a huge leap from Intel's previous system, Pahokee Springs. Hala Point blows it out of the water, offering over 10 times the neuron capacity and up to 12 times higher performance. Why does this matter? Well, it's a game changer when it comes to the hefty computing costs of training AI models. With Hala Point, Intel aims to slash the time and resources needed to train these models. This could mean big improvements in AI applications across industries like healthcare, finance, and transportation. This is a major milestone in neuromorphic computing. Its impressive processing power and massive neuron capacity could change the game for AI training and deployment. It's a sign of exciting things to come in the world of computing. Unless AI goes bad and attacks us, of course, but that will never happen, right? This next footage was sent in by a subscriber. They were snooping around Antarctica on a map, zooming in when they came across this chilling image. It appears to be the giant skeletal head of a monster floating on the water with the rest of its body submerged. The creature's mouth is slightly open, revealing razor-sharp teeth. The sight is both eerie and fascinating, leaving much to the imagination. Antarctica is a place widely believed to hold many secrets shrouded in mystery and largely unexplored. Are we perhaps looking at one of those secrets? This creature certainly doesn't look like something you'd want to pet or take home as a catch for dinner. And since it's an image, we can't be sure if it's dead or alive. What do you think this could be? Let's take a look at this next footage. A man was walking home alone one night when he noticed something eerie. An object was floating a few inches above the ground right by a nearby wall. What makes this even more unsettling is that the object wasn't lightweight, nor was there any wind blowing. To make matters worse, it moved at a hauntingly slow speed as if something unseen was dragging it. It seemed to be following the man. He was understandably spooked by this encounter. One thing is for sure, this might be the last time he walks home alone at night. Anyway, do you think this was a wraith? What do you think was going on here? Share your thoughts below. A Reddit user recently shared an intriguing image on the platform. The user had bought some blueberries and was enjoying them when she noticed a strange marking on one of the berries. Upon closer inspection, she realized that the marking was a set of numbers, well written and too small to be written by hand. What's more, the numbers seem to be made by a machine, which is unusual as food items are not typically marked with serial numbers. As the image went viral, many people started offering explanations for the strange marking on the berry. Most of the commenters suggested that the berry was attached to the packaging when the company was laser printing on it. His explanation seemed plausible, as laser printing is a common way of marking products with serial numbers. However, some people still wondered if there was something more sinister going on. Such individuals suspected the government might be messing with our foods and changing our bodies. It's possible that the marking on the berry was simply a result of the laser printing process, as many suggested. However, it's also possible that this was a deliberate act and that someone intentionally marked the berry with a serial number. But why? Well, we don't know. That's the mystery. Your thoughts on this are welcome. On the night of April the 4th, 2024, a surveillance camera in Idaho captured an unusual sight in someone's backyard. The footage shows a craft flying over the property which appeared to have 6 vertical lights. Although the camera quality is not great due to the darkness, the lights are clearly visible. The rest of the craft is difficult to make out, leaving the shape and size a mystery. The owner of the footage is convinced that it was a UFO given the current hype around UFO sightings on the internet. However, it's difficult to say for sure what it is without further evidence or analysis. It's possible that it could have been a normal aircraft, but the unusual light formation suggests otherwise. What do you think? Next, we've got a banana lying on a table. The hand reaches out to it, and this is what happens. The banana begins to pulsate as if it's alive. This is one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen involving food. What could be going on here? Several theories came to mind. Some suggest it might be an elaborate prank or special effects trickery designed to shock and disturb viewers. Others speculate that the banana could be infested with some sort of parasitic organism or insect larvae, causing it to move in such a creepy manner. There are also those who believe it could be a cleverly edited video using CGI to create the pulsating effects. What do you think could be the reason behind this pulsating banana? The nighttime seems to be the best time for all sorts of weird things to happen and for strange things to emerge. Someone captured intriguing footage while walking by the woods after feeling like something was watching them from the trees. When they turned, they saw a pair of glowing eyes at the tree line, intently observing them. In the dark, the outline of the creature became somewhat visible, revealing what looked like eyes and an obvious snout. It was difficult to determine if that was the entirety of the creature's body or if there was more hidden in the shadows. When this footage was posted online, it sparked a debate with people having different opinions about the identity of the creature. One group leaned towards more familiar animals such as gators, dogs, coyotes, donkeys, and pigs. However, others suggested a more paranormal explanation, noting the eerie vibe the creature exuded. Some speculated it might be a hellhound, while another person humorously suggested it was a Pikachu, and yet another believed it could be a djinn. What do you think about this mysterious encounter? Is it a familiar creature, or do you lean towards a more supernatural explanation? Recently, a group of people on a boat ride in a river came across an alligator making its way toward them. The passengers began filming the scene because, well, why not? But as the alligator got closer, the situation became increasingly tense. They noticed he was out for blood. Without warning, the alligator leapt out of the water, clearly attempting to get into the boat or at least grab one of the passengers. Naturally, the passengers were taken aback and quickly backed away as the reptile landed on the side of the boat and then fell off. Alligators are massive in size, with an average length of 13 feet and can weigh up to 1,000 pounds. However, they're also known to be dangerous predators, capable of causing serious harm to humans and animals alike. Thankfully, no one was hurt. If you intend to visit a place with gators, let this be your cue to be extra safe out there. Take a moment to admire the sheer size and beauty of the Tibetan Mastiff, a truly magnificent breed of dog. With its thick, long, and luxurious brown fur, muscular build, and regal appearance, this breed is considered one of the largest dogs in the world. Originated from the lofty mountains of Tibet, these majestic canines have been bred for centuries to guard livestock and property and are known for their courage, loyalty, and independence. They're highly intelligent and have a strong protective instinct, making them excellent watchdogs. The Tibetan Mastiffs are calm and patient, but they can be stubborn at times. They require plenty of exercise and mental stimulation to stay healthy and happy. They're also known to be quite vocal and will bark loudly if they sense any potential threats. Despite their imposing size and appearance, the Tibetan Mastiff is a gentle and loving breed that thrives with human companionship. They're great with children and make loyal and protective family pets. Whether you're a dog lover or simply appreciate the beauty and majesty of nature's creatures, the Tibetan Mastiff is truly a sight to behold. It captures a disc-shaped craft in the sky floating over the ocean and near a forest. The craft just glided smoothly, its disc shape clearly visible against the backdrop of the horizon. Despite significant technological advancements over the years, we have yet to see a saucer-shaped craft like this in conventional aeronautics. Could this be genuine footage of a UFO? The clarity and distinct shape of the craft have certainly fueled speculation. While some might argue it's an elaborate hoax or a cleverly designed drone, others are convinced this is proof of extraterrestrial life. Share your thoughts on this. Let's take a look at this intriguing image captured by an astronomer. It shows a flash of what looks like fire over the moon, resembling some sort of explosion. Interestingly, the explosion didn't appear to hit the moon, but rather ignited just above the surface. People have made several observations about this phenomena. The area where the explosion occurred looks dark, but there seems to be a crater there. Some theorize that this was a meteor or asteroid that hit the part of the moon where there was no light, creating the illusion of an explosion above the surface. However, there are others with their own unique takes. Some believe that a mysterious field around the moon caused the impact to occur in such a dramatic fashion. Others even suggest that something or someone on the moon shot at the approaching object, causing it to explode before making contact. What do you think this could be? Growing up, I always heard some people being called lucky, but being the scientific mind I was in my childhood days, I just thought it was a matter of probability. If the childhood me could see this, he would change his mind. Yes, that's a man shaking uncontrollably, and it appears to be quite severe. At first glance, the reason behind this unusual behavior is unknown, but as the camera panned down, a broken piece of a hand grinder was revealed lying on the ground. As he turned the camera toward his face, we could see the reason behind his tremors. The disc of the hand grinder had become lodged in his cap just a few inches away from his head. This was a very close call, and the man's cap had saved him from what could have been a fatal accident. How's that possible? It's not supposed to be. It's quite remarkable how lucky he is to have escaped unscathed. It was clear from the video that the man was terrified and shaken by the incident, and understandably so. Could this be luck or something more? Share your thoughts. Would you go camping if you knew these guys would be your campmates? In the footage, a camper woke up one night to find a huge spider crawling on his tent on the outside. If you're an arachnophobe, I'm sure it will be hell for you. You can even see the highlights of other insects as well. Wait, did I just call a spider an insect? Spider-Man won't be happy about that. Good thing he's not real. Can you guess where this particular camp is happening? Hint, it's a popular place with the world's most deadly creatures. Yes, you guessed right, Australia. Australia is known for its spiders, some of which can grow to enormous sizes. For instance, the huntsman spider, which is commonly found in Australian homes, can have a leg span of up to 30 centimeters, making it one of the largest spiders in the world. Thinking of it alone is making my stomach churn, but do tell me, what do you think of this camping expedition? Do or pass? In March, a homeowner shared rather interesting footage from a security camera they had installed in their backyard. The footage shows what looks like a ghostly figure grazing near a wall that had a dark object in front of it. Out of nowhere, an invisible creature about 3 to 4 feet tall walks in front of the black object on the ground. This creature had an obvious humanoid form and looked like it was made of smoke. The only reason we can see it is because of the contrast with the black object. As soon as it passes by the object, it vanishes into thin air. The footage caused a frenzy among viewers in the paranormal community. Some believed that this was an alien creature walking around, while others thought it was some sort of ghost or spiritual entity. What do you think this could be? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Am I the only one seeing the strange-looking lizard? No, you can see it too. Oh, great. I'm not seeing things then. The big question now is, why does it look like that? If I had $1 anytime I asked that question on this channel, I'd be a millionaire by now. After doing some digging around and research, which mostly means asking Julius, it turns out that the chances of this critter being an alien creature accidentally left on our planet are incredibly low. Julius and the other science geniuses I interviewed stated that what we are seeing could be the result of a damaged egg or a set of twins that never truly separated or developed well. While that does seem very plausible and logical, I can't help but entertain the idea of it being an alien species. I know the chances of it being so are very slim, but look at it. Doesn't it look like some cute little alien creature? Anyway, have any of you encountered an animal with a similar condition? Let us know what species it was and how different it looked compared to the normal-looking critters in its species. I'll be reading the comments. Have you ever wondered what the undersea cable system for our internet looks like? If you have, you're in luck. If you haven't, I'll still enjoy this. This is what the connection made for the internet fiber optic cables looks like connected to the sea. Undersea fiber optic cables are like hidden highways under the ocean, made of thin strands of glass or plastic. They carry data using light signals, making communication fast and reliable across long distances. These cables are placed on the ocean floor, often very deep down, connecting continents and countries to form a giant network. Even though they're super important, most people don't even notice them. Putting these cables in place and keeping them working is tough work. Special ships and gear are needed to carefully lay them on the ocean floor and make sure they stay put. They have to be constantly watched and fixed to avoid any problems from nature or people. These cables are a big deal for global communication. They make talking to someone on the other side of the world almost as easy as talking to your neighbor. Without them, the internet and all the connections we rely on wouldn't be possible. Don't believe me? Check with Africa. Most of the continent experienced power problems a few months ago when cables belonging to MTN, one of the continent's biggest communication giants, were damaged. Thankfully, they were able to find a way around it. That should tell you how important these things are. You and I are fortunate to live in a time like this. Never forget that. A homeowner in North Carolina, USA, was reviewing his home surveillance footage when he spotted a strange creature. The creature appeared to have a hairy body and was walking on 2 legs. Although the camera was positioned downward, it was still obvious that the creature was not human. Its size was significantly smaller compared to the flower pot it walked by. It was definitely not a normal creature, as it did not resemble a rat, cat, or rodent and was clearly walking on 2 legs. Interestingly, some viewers pointed out that the creature didn't cast a shadow, which made the sighting even more bizarre. The lack of the shadow made some, including my in-house video editor, think it might be CGI, but we can't prove that now, can we? Some people also suggested that the creature might be a duende, a mythical creature found in Spanish and Latin American folklore. Duendes are known for being small, mischievous beings that look similar to elves or goblins. They're believed to live in natural places such as forests and caves and are regarded as guardians of nature. Depending on their mood or the actions of humans they encounter, they might either help or worry people. However, it's hard to say for sure if the creature in the footage is a duende or something else entirely. What do you think? Have you ever seen a fish with wings? Just look at this marvelous creature. This is the bluefin gurnard, and it truly lives up to its name. The bluefin gurnard is a stunning fish, known for its vibrant blue pectoral fins that resemble wings. When it spreads them out, it looks like it could almost take flight. These fins aren't just for show, either. They're used to scare off predators and to navigate the sandy seafloor in search of food. It's like nature decided to mix a bit of the sea and sky in one amazing animal. What's even more interesting is how these fish move. They don't just swim like other fish, they use their wing-like fins to walk along the ocean floor. They extend these fins outward and use them to probe the sand, uncovering small crustaceans and other tasty morsels to eat. It's a bit like having a built-in metal detector, except instead of finding treasure, they find their dinner. And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, with our clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.